We're live, bro. Oh, that's way over. Okay.
Bro, just did 2 lines. I can't go live right now.
Bro, that's
Dude,
the
I'm
thing.
fucking zooted.
But that's the thing, man. I see why people do coke sometimes, man. You know, because I felt the feeling when you make a little bit of money and you're just like, yeah. It's like if I ever open up my Robinhood and there's coke next to me and I made a bunch of money, I might hit that bump. I'm more susceptible to hit that bump. You know what I'm saying? If I made money that day,
Put that 5 out.
Just letting you know, any dealers, you know.
Anyone wants to be my stockbroker and my coke?
You got it later, bro.
Oh
Shit.
Oh, hold up. I don't know how much it's got left in it.
Make it work. We'll make it work real quick. This thing was pushing. Whoa, shit. There we go.
I can't find my torches. Gotta be somewhere around here. What's up, everybody?
Yeah,
Happy Friday. Another thank God it's Friday. Did you God, I don't know. So weird. I always try to talk to people about things that happen in the MMA community. I'm just like, no, nobody else seen that. That wasn't like Connor and shit. So it doesn't really get known. But there was a fighter named Casey Kennedy. He's coming up and he's fighting Dominic Cruz. He was on Sean O'Malley's podcast, bro. And Sean O'Malley was on there and he's getting like backlash for saying that he would try heroin. And like his friend's like, no, I would never do heroin. He's like, well, why wouldn't you do heroin? Because you're pussy and everybody else says you shouldn't do heroin. He's like, you know, you're headstrong. You're not going to get addicted. And like basically people were bashing shit out of him. But then they asked the guy, Casey Kennedy, they asked him specifically about a UFC fighter named Megan Anderson who's about to fight Amanda Nunes for the belt. And they were like, hey, would you smash her? And he said she's a 4 a.m. or a 5 a.m. or if nothing else was there type of board thing. And basically like people flipped out and he's getting like super backlash and they fight on the same card coming up in March. Just saying that about coke made me think about that with the heroin thing.
Yeah, no, I got you. I mean, like, I can see why I could get, but I don't think it's anything. I mean, like, seems like he doesn't know what he's talking about necessarily, you know. But I mean, hey, if he wants to go do some heroin, you know, I think he understands people die from heroin withdrawal. Like, it's not even like, I mean, it is a huge mental thing, but I mean, like, your body needs it at some point, you know. Your body needs that heroin. I used to work with a guy, and he was a recovering heroin addict, bro. He got his life back together. His dad helped him get his life back on track, got him a job and everything. And he was probably, I think, about a year or two clean at that time. And, you know, they're both telling me, you know, it's like his dad would pretty much not sleep at night because he'd be checking on him because, you know, he'd go to his room and he's just shaking cold sweats in his bed and shit, bro. He could have died, you know, kicking that shit the way he did, you know.
And that's just like when you go into detox. I don't know if you checked out that Brandon Novak story, man, but it was fucking incredible.
I've seen a lot of shit about that, bro. And I remember he did a speech somewhere where he was talking, man. That dude's a beautiful fucking soul, bro. And now that you go back and you look at any Bam Margera, any of the Viva La Bam shit,
you see he was high.
He's gone,
That's
bro.
The first thing I remembered about him.
He's gone.
Listen. This is Casey Kenny on him.
I'm digging these new setups.
On the podcast.
Where they have like these chairs back and then there's a mic in their face.
That's what I was a kid right there.
Probably not, man. She's not too. Well, I mean, if it came down to it, it was like you're.
I mean, at the end of the day, people are allowed to talk about what they want to talk about.
Are you sure?
What do you mean, like?
Think about it. That's the thing. I was thinking.
Talking about this, you know.
But they are coworkers, right?
Yeah.
So where can you openly talk about that, you know, on a video about one of your coworkers?
I mean, are they coworkers technically? I mean,
technically they're subcontractors
on the same.
That's
UFC,
what they say. So there's no legal recourse, but that's basically what Megan was saying. Was like, you know, what other company or business, you know, can you openly degrade, you know, your female coworkers and nothing happened, and they got to be on the same card together.
That's very true, and I understand I definitely understand where you're coming from, and it makes a lot of fucking sense. Initially, my first thought was that people were getting kind of mad just because like that is like the thing. It's like you talk about something like this. It probably would blow up anyway. It's like why talk about women like that type of deal? But like you make a solid point.
That's not my
You would
point. That's
never.
Megan Anderson's point. Yeah.
Well,
But yeah.
either way, you make it's a
I
solid
didn't get it
point.
either. I was in the same position you were. I was like, well, I don't know. I feel like you can talk about people. But then when she said it like that, I'm like, yeah, that is true.
That is very true. I mean, I don't know much about the law, but I mean, like, is that why people are mad? I mean, that's obviously why she's mad.
Yeah, people are mad because he openly degraded a woman, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And it sucks because they probably got him high or something. He was drinking a little bit. They asked him that question. And you notice that question. Here's my thing. I always think too deep. You know that. But I was wondering, why'd that question come from the other guy? You want to close that?
It's that stem that's closed.
Oh,
it's
okay,
sealed.
okay.
Yeah, it just has a fat ass.
Why'd that question come from the other guy?
Yeah, it looks like he was
And
reading. It looks like he was reading like stream questions or something.
Yeah. And it didn't come from O'Malley though.
Which
That's
huge on the interviewer to move on past some of that, and I think he should get some heat for that as well.
That's what I'm saying. But they want things like that, just like you always want good content for your.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. But I mean, like, I think there's so many more things to talk about, especially on.
I don't think they realize.
What type of podcast is this?
I don't think they realize. It's Sean O'Malley's podcast.
Oh, Sean O'Malley's podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a personal podcast. It doesn't even focus on fighting. It's just a general.
Focus on everything.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the other thing is that like we could start to have the conversation of like people in this type of spotlight, do they have to act to a higher standard and rather than be who like they would normally be, And I think the case would be, yes. I think, ultimately, like, when you're putting out content like this and it starts getting the viewership it does, like, you do have to monitor what you spread and put out there.
He set him up for it for sure.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, it's like there's so much shit that you could talk about, so much more shit that would get more conversation. I mean, it's got a lot of bad publicity, but I think you could do a lot to, like, that's such a.
But my thing is,
I think it's a stupid question,
My thing is, though, when you're answering that question, like, it's up to you to also, answer that correctly. Like, you can't really name a woman on the world that I would bash like that on fucking, live at all, really, but definitely on, a live podcast. Like, you couldn't have said, if he said, would you smash fucking Kamala Harris? I'd be like, I can't really see it, or maybe she's a woman of power if you want to ask me a question. But you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, no, that bitch is ugly. Like, I don't think that's the way you carry anything.
Yeah, I feel you on that,
I seen a thing that said, classic ugly tactic, reject before rejected.
Yeah, and I mean, like, that's the other thing, it's like it's definitely like a really finicky thing. I mean, I don't like it really at all, but it's just so tough, man. 'Cause it's like, it's people want to talk and shoot shit and be normal. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to be able, like, we could talk about some shit like that. We could bring
like,
up,
we're
talk
trying
about
to be.
Kamala, and it's like we could talk about that. We would. No one would. I don't think anyone would even blink an eye at us saying that. I think when you're putting that eye. It just does a next level like type of scrutiny to you.
And you're on the card with her coming up.
But it's definitely a solid point to think about. It's like your employer. What are the actual repercussions of that type of thing, and what's the actual rules on it? I'm saying right now.
And dude, you're a single man. I can't believe you would turn down any UFC fighter. At the end of the day, like, hey, it's a UFC fighter. You fuck, dude.
Yeah, I mean, like, you guys both train. It's like. So it's something you would want, but I think also a lot of men find it intimidating. I think a lot of men find it really intimidating. Especially like somebody. I think a lot of men want more of like a subservient, like someone that just listens to you type of woman. That's what I think that's what they like. He would want versus like someone who actually trains and works hard. I remember I saw there was this It's kind of like a different level, but I was driving one day and I saw this dude and his wife or girlfriend. They were both at Patterson Park. I was driving on Eastern. We down Passion Park Avenue where you have that steep incline on that one side, and it's just straight up all the
Mm.
way up. And they're at the bottom. You see them. They're just like they hit their watch, and then they both just start sprinting up that bitch. You know. So for some people it probably would work, but I think most men probably aren't into that type of thing. As far as I know.
Yeah.
I mean, like I probably wouldn't give a shit.
But it's something about I'd be like, man, I don't know. I'm saying the celebrity aspect. That's it. Like,
Yeah.
why would you turn down a celebrity?
Yeah. I mean, I think
You fucked worse.
I think a lot of these people feel like they're really hot shit because they're fighting in the UFC. I think it's a next level like type of ego type of deal. And especially when you feel like you could really fight and fuck up most people. Maybe not like the number one ranked dude. I mean, they probably do believe they could beat the number one.
That's what I always wonder what they are. Like, do they always believe what they're saying? Like, does Ben really believe he's going to win that fight, or is he just trying to get a check?
I don't think. I don't think he's going to win that fight.
He predicted a 7th-round knockout.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Like against him or like?
No, Ben said he's going to knock him out 7th round.
Yeah, that bitch is tough. Yeah, no. I don't think there's absolutely any way Ben Askren wins that fight, bro. I mean, I thought that like this dude Paul would just get fucking wrecked by Nate Robinson, and I mean, like, of course in that Nate Robinson fight, like, it didn't showcase his skill level at all. You could tell that he was trained, but like it just appeared that he was more trained and ready than Nate Robinson actually was. It's not really a showcase of skills or like actual boxing ability. And then when it comes to Askren, it's like I just want this kid to fight like a real like boxer if they're gonna box, or go wrestle Ben Askren in a MMA ring. But I think that's just how I feel about it. Like you need, if you want to prove your boxing skill, you need to fight someone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to, like, don't give him that Pacquiao fight, but give him a legit boxer.
I mean, he's fighting an MMA fighter though. Give him that.
He's fighting an MMA fighter, yeah, 100%.
And that's 19-1 or 20-1, whatever the fuck it is.
Well, we know it's a different sport, And I mean,
but he's also not in the sport.
He's not. He's not.
So hypothetically, like, Ben has been training for longer.
That's what I'm saying. You go and
Ben's been training twice as long.
But as a boxer,
But he's been doing MMA training. So I agree with you. But I'm saying you would think he should have better hands. Like, it might look bad, but like he should be able to
more fighting experience. Which should work in his favor,
He's always been able to grab people, though. I mean, that's why, Jorge just put his ass out unconscious, man, because he's just always just put his head down and been able to grab people.
Yeah.
And he says that, like, of his 19 fights, there's only 2 rounds where he stood up.
That's the thing. Like, I don't, like, if that's the case, then, have him fight a boxer, Have him fight a boxer then, even like, it doesn't have to be no big name boxer or anything. I mean, that's the thing that's gonna sell those big names like Askren and stuff. I mean, go fight. But
why would he fight a real boxer? He's not gonna fight a real boxer, bro. That ruins your marketing, your image. I'm gonna lose to a real boxer. Steve.
I know.
So why would I do that?
I know, and that all makes sense. But that's just how I feel. I'm not, this dude that like, you're. I mean, it's like for me, like, it just doesn't, like, of course it's helping his brand, but like in my eyes, I'm like, you're not doing much for your brand. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like,
well, the best teacher
you're making money, you're doing all that, you're known.
The best teacher is someone else's experience, So I like to put myself in someone else's shoes, and okay, I see it from this point of view, of course, from my own point of view. But let's put ourselves in Jake Paul's shoes. Like, what would you do?
It all makes sense.
That's your son. What would you do?
It all makes sense,
like,
bro.
And Askren. Oh, that's someone we might actually be able to beat. Like, we all think he's gonna lose.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what he's doing right now is he's taking, he has a lot of financial backing, and he's taken, the biggest name he can get that he has a chance of beating, and that's the smart thing to do. That's what he should be doing if he's gonna be doing this type of thing, But the only way I can look at it is the way, like, I'm not Jake Paul. So I can just look at it and cast my own judgment on how I feel about it. It's like, go, like, because he claims to be a boxer. I mean, like, is that all just a TV show personality?
I mean, he's training.
He's
training with Jorge now.
He's training. Oh yeah, because he's against Ben Askren.
They were like, how much did he pay Jorge?
He paid it. I mean, it might not even paid him much.
He paid him.
Probably was a lot less than like maybe the next guy. Just like, look, probably hit him up. Like, let's work on that deal. I want to train you for this shit, bro. I hate this guy.
He was like, I'm gonna beat his record. I'm gonna beat your record.
Yeah.
I watched a full breakdown of that yesterday and like why he really did have so much hate for Ben. And it was mainly because like when he called Jorge out, he was saying like he would be an easy opponent. He'll ragdoll him for the entire time. And like Jorge was offended because he's like, look, I put my whole life into this, and like here you are just saying I'm nothing basically. And from there, he just hated him. And you could see that Ben was nervous, man. I don't care what he says. He thought that, okay, I'll get my hands on him and then I'll figure it out from there. Just like he thought with Robbie Lawyer. And Robbie put his ass on his head and was beating his face in, and he was able to grab a hold of him. But, like, if he can't grab a hold of him, I don't think he can win a fight.
Yeah, and I mean, you're going up against someone who's training primarily boxing. He's put all that time into training that specifically. And I think that's the thing where, like, it's mixed martial arts, whereas boxing is, that's a specialty field. It's like you're fine tuning hands, what I'm saying? And the sport of boxing.
So now let's flip it. We're Ben Askren. And Ben Askren's your son. Do you take that fight? What's it cost? How much is it going to cost to take that fight?
Well, versus Ben Askren?
How much do you need? No, for you, you are Ben Askren.
You are. Oh, man. I mean, you gotta look at what you're like. I mean, like, I would want to see all the financials going on with like the pay-per-views and stuff, how it's all being broken out. And I mean, like, if there's millions being tossed around, I want a couple millions, bro. I want a couple millions, because it's not like you're paying me to go. It's not like I'm just gonna go fight this guy. It's for the money and for the pay-per-view and what is actually being earned.
He's not getting in there for less than
how much I'm making on. The fight is sellable because it has someone.
But you can't split the pay-per-view half and half.
Oh, you can't. No,
right?
It's gonna be in Jake Paul's favor.
Jake Paul's 75-25, maybe 80-20.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But up front, 2.5 done, right?
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
2 done. 1 is what you want to say, but you're like, Ben Askren. Like,
yeah. And that's the thing, like, that's at that point, it's like, I'm gonna be training super hard because it's like, for one, it's not even about the money at this point. I just, I want to get the money, but like, I know I'm being like, kind of like, played as the guy's gonna get like, thrown around, or like not thrown around, but like, beat the fuck up, like boxed on, just beat at boxing outright, maybe not even knocked out. He might not knock out Askren, but he's gonna box him up probably. And I'm gonna have, I think, way more fire than you will, because I want to show up and beat you, even with that big purse you got going on. I just want to come up and beat you up, because that's why I'm on this card. That's why I'm the one fighting this guy, because
it's crazy. That's what it became.
They want me to go be Nate Robinson and just get knocked out real
Celebrity
quick.
deathmatch.
Yeah,
it's the closest thing we can come to it,
man.
Without actually killing the person.
And I'm here for it.
Nate was close to death.
I would love to see big internet celebrities and celebrities, music, whatever, go and box people, bro.
What would be like your dream? Like a dream matchup,
bro.
I feel like you don't even say like the upper echelon of people, because it's kind of like whack.
Yeah, I mean, like
Tom Hanks or like Will Smith, like.
You want to see like that? That's selling just because it's like, Tom.
Yeah,
Hanks,
but you want to see like that obscure battle, right?
You want to see like some, like, you still want to see people fight, So I'm thinking like, who I'm thinking like
OBJ versus Russell Westbrook.
That's a tough one just because athletes, especially just current athletes, like. I mean, you would love to see it. I mean, I think Russell Westbrook, bro.
I think Russell trashes him.
Yeah, I think so, man.
Too.
Just the explosiveness.
What about like Russ versus Dame?
It's like fast twitch muzzle for days, huh?
Russ versus Dame.
Still, bro. Like, you need someone with similar athleticism.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a tough one.
And he's got the cardio to go with it.
Yeah. Plus, the dude's arms are long as fuck, bro.
Like, but anybody, that's the thing. Anybody can win a fight at any time, though, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. But I mean, like, especially when you look at someone with like no stats and you have no idea how they would do in a fight, all you have is left is like your breakdown of like physical attributes that they have going for them. Explosiveness and some reach. It's not looking good for the other guy. Then you get some boxing behind both these dudes. It's like,
it's funny, like just how like a stock can be off. Like a price on a bet can be off. Like when Holly Holm knocked out Rousey, Rousey was the favorite, and when Rousey was knocked out by Nunes, she was the favorite. It was like. They still were better. Conor McGregor was a bigger favorite this time than the last time he fought Dustin. It's like they kind of buy into hype too.
Yeah.
until it's proven wrong.
Yeah. That's the thing I wanted to.
And the closer you get to strike price, the more it comes closer.
That's the thing I wanted to tell you guys. I wanted to tell you guys to look at the spreads for the game options pricing, and just kind of because like right now it's so heavily like expanded. You know, it's such a weird situation that you can really see what's playing into like this types of options pricing. You know, you can really see all the different like a different aspect where like you usually don't see something like where like it shows its how much volatility is priced into it, you know, like this much, you know, so you can really see how, you know, the volatility works and like how its pricing is affecting like options and shit. You know, it's a very good way to like you just go and look at them at the different strike prices, and since it's so heavily like, you know, exacerbated pretty much at this point, you can just really see the, you know, the underlying and what and how to calculate it pretty much, you know, based on the
What are
time.
just ludicrous prices right now?
Yeah, you know, because I mean that's I believe that's the Vega Greek, which is volatility. So pretty much that number determines the options pricing based on the percentage of volatility. I believe it's every 1% up in volatility, you know, you get an increase. I mean, yeah, yeah, you know, it's a certain amount, and that's how much of the price goes into the options pricing. And you know, every increase in that, you know, changes it by this value. You know, every decrease in it changes it to this value.
Why the fuck was that guy? What's his name? Brian Holloway. Why was he able to do that?
Brian Holloway.
The one I sent you in that video. Did you watch the Joe Rogan video?
Oh, Bill Ackman.
Bill Ackman.
Bill
Sorry,
Ackman,
damn it,
Bill
I'm
Ackman.
oil.
Bill Ackman.
Why was he able to do that?
I think because it, you know, as what he said, it the way he worded it, it said that, you know, it was now, you know, being linked to one of the factors in that type of sell off and drop. But you know, I think the other factors are what, you know, are what weigh in more to that, you know, type of deal where it's like, well, I don't. It wasn't really his speech. It was, you know, really the coronavirus type of deal, you know. But
like right now, Musk goes on there and post Signal, right? That was the stock, right?
Yeah.
And it goes up 400%. You find out he had, you know, calls on, you know, Signal.
Yeah, but he didn't directly shout them out. He said something about them like using it.
And okay, well, it's GameStop.
And then it was
what
actually
if he really
like,
shouts them out? What if he directly shouts them out? Like,
and the stock wasn't related, you know.
But why?
And he said GameStop, you know.
But why could Stephen Baker post GameStop? You know what I mean? And not be a deal. But is it just the fact of like, so we just are admitting that they're like celebrity idols?
No, so this is the thing. He did post GameStop, but because he has no positions in it, you know, it doesn't matter.
Right,
you know?
But if he did, why would that be illegal?
It's what you would call, you know, manipulation. And when you put it on like a social, listen, hold up. When you put it on social media, you know, and someone like him says it who has a lot of sway, you know, boom. You know,
but how do isn't that such a funny thing? You know, isn't that such a funny thing to determine sway? Like, okay, Will Smith does it.
Yeah, no one can really like do it, you know.
Right, but we could go on there and post that right now, and just because no one looks, it's okay.
So
it's just funny.
Well, listen, so that's the thing, bro. That's the thing. Everyone, you know, up until this point, it has not been the way that it is right now. You know what I'm saying? Like before, this was something that was like laughed about, you know, and was thrown around. Like no one really knew that like this could even be possible. People like, you know, I've been a part of the Wall Street Bets thing since like back in like December. When I started reading into it and just trying to, you know, like figure out the Robinhood and all the option shit out and whatnot. And I remember when that dude, I wasn't there for when that dude initially bought in his position deep fucking value when he bought in his position, but I came in a couple months after that, and you see him post his monthly update, you know, and you know he's down, you know, hella money, and people are literally in the comments just like, you know, if you sell now, you know, you might be able to even break even, you know, or some shit like that, you know, blah 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 blah. And even up until, you know, September, even when it hit, you know, people were buying in, but it wasn't being thrown out the way it was right now, you know. It was only up until when it hit 40 that people were like, okay, maybe this is a thing. I'll buy in for a short squeeze. Once it hit over 100, you know, I think that's when it really caught the attention and people really saw it as a money play. That's the thing. Everything I see up until this point says coordinated effort, coordinated effort, coordinated effort, but none of it was coordinated. The other thing is that, you at this point have to prove that this is what happened. You have to prove that in SEC. Whereas like with Elon, I have positions, I come out, game stonk, it goes up, and I have positions. It's like, it looks iffy.
But my favorite thing to do, let's play opposite role, right? I'm hedge fund manager, you're top lawyer.
Yeah.
I'm coming to you and I'm saying, bro, I need something. What do I got? What do I got?
Yeah.
You're trying to shut that down.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, and that's the
Could
thing,
you
bro.
make it happen?
That's the thing. You can make it happen, bro. You can do all these things. It's all been proven this past week. It's. I understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. But it's 100% their own making. Their own making.
That doesn't mean it makes money.
None of this is possible without them doing their naked short selling that they were doing.
Okay, so we all lose money, and then that's proven. What do we benefit?
I mean, I when that type of thing happens, bro, and then you have Robinhood favored in, I think you see class actions. I mean, what comes of that? I don't know.
Get my name on one of them bad boys.
This is I'm
still waiting on my trip money.
This is a very unique situation, and this is the thing. Regulation will catch up, but it will always be behind. Now, this is the other thing. For the first time, we see them on the other side, and they're calling for regulation.
Yeah.
I think I mean, the thing is, they do. At the end of the day, everything that they do and what happens on Wall Street, as far as anything you could think of illegally that happens, was proven this past week of what they can do and what they'll be willing to do and what they've always done, what they did in 2008, what they've always done with the market. And then at this point, if we want to talk about legality of, Wall Street bets, I feel like that's an attack on us, as people, as citizens, for the first time really in the past couple of years being able to participate in a free market where anyone can do it, that's everyone's
that guy
right.
said being open about it.
Yeah, and that's everyone's right.
They're not hiding it.
Everything that Wall Street Bets does is on a public page and can be viewed for the open, This is the thing that we're like, this is where it gets sketchy. I see a bunch of shit going on where like, the Dogecoin, that got pumped. That's a problem. We're like, that's one thing I don't agree. We're like, now we see people really doing this coordinated pumping. We're pumping and people can this is the problem. People can hop in, big guys, little guys hop in.
Why is that a problem?
It gets pumped. You get it's I think it has really bad implications for like market volatility. I mean,
change
like
the market.
You have to. This is a history changing event right here, bro.
No one blames you for adapting.
It should change it moving forward. But I don't like the narrative that people caused it, retail investors caused it, individual people conspired for this type of thing. Like I set up the jump with that Joe video you sent me. The first thing he says is that Wall Street Bets, they then conspired to come together and pump the stock up when that was not the case at all. That was not the case.
They're confused on that. My argument for it is, right, I don't want Elon Musk or Will Smith to be viewed as more than me. So just as I'm sitting there, that's why I started with that argument. Why is it that if they do it, it's a crime, but if we do it, it shouldn't be? At this point, you need to make a decision of what is a crime. I mean, why aren't we allowed to pump something? If that's how the market works, then we should be able to use its tools. We're not manipulating it. We're not cheating it. We're using how the market works.
Yeah, that's the thing. It will definitely change moving forward. But from right now, at this standpoint, everything up to this point has been 100% legal, except on the behalf of hedge funds.
Give us all $1,000 and we're out.
No, it's not. That's not the case at all, bro.
A share.
No, that's a low price target at this point, bro. People were really breaking it down, and most people's price targets upwards of like 8,600. People were
8,600. You just say 8,600.
Yeah, 8,600 a share, bro. These are legit valuations based off what's going on and price targets that That's the thing. People have this notion that
keep going higher with these price targets. I'm loving it.
Bro, I'm telling you, people have this notion that like there's a lot of irresponsible and dumb people in this Reddit. But really, there's some really smart fucking
Fuck
people,
yeah, bro. They know every move they're making. They obviously have done it before. That's how I see it. When you were telling me like all that shit where like you sent me that thing, like, look, they're manipulating the market. I'm like, dude, how does someone know that unless you were in it? And they must just not be in it anymore. Or they're in it and they're in Wall Street bets.
Well, I mean, you can track all the movements. You can track everything. I mean,
did you see that the number one guy that apparently started like the GameStop buy is a former financial advisor?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? He's got like two accounts that they linked him to. Something Kitty, Roaring Kitty.
Yeah, and that's his name. His name's Deep Fucking Value. That was the
Deep
guy.
Fucking Value, and that's Roaring Kitty.
Yeah, that's the guy I was talking about. That's the thing, bro. All he did was post his, he posted his game YOLO and what his DD, his due diligence was, his research suggested. And all of it was very sound and it all made sense based on the valuation, based on the short interest, based on its actual balance sheets and what was actually going on. The company was being shot down. He worked it out, bro.
He did the math
all
himself.
That's public info.
It's just like if you were like working for a company, right? You're working for Goldman Sachs and you're doing that, right? And then I come to you as your friend and I'm like, bro, why don't you just do it for yourself?
And
that's what he did, right? You can still work for Goldman Sachs.
Yeah.
You go home. I'm gonna do this math myself.
And his specialty is value investing.
Everybody
finding
double
the
dips.
best value going in. The biggest thing, I mean, he may have the past, in regulation, but he doesn't currently hold a position of regulation.
Either way, it doesn't make sense. I just don't see how he would be at any extent of the law. He's just a person on Reddit.
Yeah,
he should not be held.
No, that's the thing. He did not tell anyone. You can go back to any of his post history.
Even if he did,
you can't tell. He did not.
I guess actually, bro, it all ties back to the Manson argument. It's just the fact that I just don't believe that manipulation should be a crime. To be honest with you.
Yeah, and I mean, the only thing that's been criminal has been on behalf of the players. I mean, the people. The people behind the wall, the Robin Hoods.
What we're learning, right, is that it's all fugazi, bro. It's all pixie dust. That's what you're learning. Because the answer right here, right, is that the entire stock market is fucked. Because we can keep doing this if we really do want to. It's fucked, right? So then you say, okay, what the stock market got to do? Well, the stock market's got to shut down. They got to start a new one. Oh, why's it got to shut down? Well, it's got to shut down because it's pixie dust. Because someone was able to buy 20 plus million shares more than were on the fucking market. Whatever it was it 76 and 55? So it comes out, what, 19?
This was a very interesting point that was brought up, that when I was like, that one day we were all talking in the chat and we were spreading the stuff about the stock exchange and, how it first started off by like, companies came together and would buy portions on the boat to then ship their goods so they wouldn't all take, a huge loss and just get bankrupt. The biggest point that guy was driving home was that they learned to spread the losses.
Right.
So when you take it from
they all made money.
So when you take it from something like that, you start off with like, okay, well, I'm spreading my losses with other businessmen who can afford this type of, this space from the ship. Businessmen. So nowadays what you have the same thing. 2008, you spread the loss. The government brings on the losses.
I just don't even like their quote businessmen. I don't even like that. It's like, what trade do you bring to the table? I'm a businessman. And then I make deals.
Well,
like, all right, okay. Well, then, you're a barterer. It's barterer.
No, back then in like, when they were doing that Dutch East India Company shit and they were doing that trading out of, Norway and shit, the Dutch, Netherlands. When they were doing that, bro, you're literally orchestrating a ship in like the 1600s. It's going to take 6 months to get to fucking India. You don't even know when it gets there.
I'm saying I believe in myself as much as that person, though. Like, I am that guy is what I picture, Like, I am that guy, though. I could do that math and like myself, I believe I could do that math.
Yeah.
So I am the businessman. So how is someone a businessman to me? I'm not saying I'm a businessman. I just can do the math that you're asking me to do.
Yeah, but
what makes me a businessman?
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
No, I get
what even is that?
I mean, it's a weird argument. I mean, it's like, okay, this is another.
Do you even own a business?
As someone who did the math, who did this shit, like, I mean, like,
so that's
like I said, but when I was talking about the Amsterdam, back then,
so then you're
orchestrating this.
So then your talent. So then you're a mathematician.
Not necessarily.
You're not, there's no business to this, bro. You did the math. And then, of course, anyone could equate the math to the purchase price of whatever apples cost for 60 apples. You did the math.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying, and I'm not going against anything you're saying. It's weird because like what you're saying is like, okay, like I don't understand what, like, I mean, you can call it, it's just as a way to describe someone, a businessman.
I'm just saying I don't like it. I don't like it because
and that's cool.
that's it. It just reminds me of like a capitalistic title. Like that's what it feels like. Like I don't want to. No, actual bro. No, listen. Okay, we're in a village, and you just described yourself as a businessman. No, dog. What talent do you bring? Is what I'm asking you right now.
I make money.
Do you know how to? I don't need that. I don't need that. So now you're no good.
We all
to me.
need money.
Ain't no good to me. Bro, I make money. Okay, well, how do you make money? Oh, I need your money first. That's how it starts. All of you give me 5%, and I'll make more money.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can do that.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, like, and that's fine, bro. But you know, like, you know, there's a, you know, it's just a term. It's just a term, bro. You know, it's just a descriptive word. Businessman, someone who participates.
All I'm saying
in
is, you
economics.
say scientist, bro. I'm
you
gonna
know?
say, okay, I'm not a scientist. You tell me businessman, I'm like, okay. You tell me motivational speaker,
Yeah,
I'll
just
say,
because
okay,
you're a
I'm
businessman
that.
doesn't mean like, you know, it's like, you know, I mean, you know, what I mean, like, it's just
Anybody can be a businessman, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%. You know, but I mean,
I'm
like,
about my business.
But
I'm
there
a
are people who I wouldn't call a businessman. You know what I'm saying? There
Are
people
you working for a promotion at your
I
job?
wouldn't refer
You're
to
a
people as a
businessman.
businessman. You know what I'm saying? There are people I would not reference that at all.
Did you
know
take
what
out
I'm
a
saying?
loan?
You know, and
I wouldn't reference anyone.
And nowadays,
to it,
specifically, it's something that, you know, usually, you know, that you would use for that, like a word you would probably use to describe like a CEO or some shit. You know, it's just like, okay, well, what the fuck does he do? He just runs the company, leads the company. What is a fucking CEO businessman?
I'm getting too tied into the businessman title.
You really are,
because he's CEO.
Yeah. But anyway,
but then
like
I guess
I'm
just tying it down to village. Like, okay, you tell me you're CEO.
Yeah,
you still have to tell me something you bring to the village aspect. Like, what are you saying? You want to be the leader? Like, you're a good leader? Like, okay, we're not asking to be led. You make me money. I'm not asking for money. What do you actually bring to the village, bro? Like, okay, you can set up our like water payment plan or something to save us some money, or a tax break. Like
the people who orchestrate this stuff. Think about it,
you know some
back
tax
then,
breaks,
people
dude?
who would orchestrate, would just be, they were good at like trading, which is like a skill in a village. I mean, like they were good at like, you would have people to go, they just go and do trading some shit.
Okay, trader.
You go and trade some stuff. It's just like,
I guess I'm just looking for a specific title.
Once you get to that point, of course, when you're like, we're just in a village and like, we're isolated and no one else around. It's just like, okay, well, there's no traders here, buddy. But there's some guy for some reason can get 2 coconuts from this guy for 1 eucalyptus leaf. I don't know why. He's just good at it. It's like, it's just, it's like,
how do we stop CEOs from getting billion-dollar stock packages, but also not embrace 1% of like ownership from any minimum wage employee that comes into it?
I mean, when you think about someone who's in that position, they have, they're in control of that company. They're the most paid and they're in charge of the direction of that company. There's bad CEOs. There's good CEOs.
Right. So you want them to do
And
good.
If I'm responsible.
You give them stock, right?
This crazy, like this is a company. At the end of the day, I don't own the company. The CEOs do not own the company.
Right.
They're owners. There's boards. I leave the. If I do a good ass job and you make billions and we make this company something that like it wasn't before, I'm getting mine.
Everything you said is 100% right, but that doesn't work at Target for some reason, right?
Well, it doesn't work anywhere. No one's doing
except
that
for CEOs for some reason. CEOs, the only position in America where if you get stocks where you're motivated by the better the company does, the better work you seem to do somehow. That's the only position title in America where that works at. Apparently,
no, not at all. No, that's the thing. That's how it works now, bro.
Exactly,
that's how it works now.
But you've seen companies that like like Amazon was doing it for a while where they gave you 2 stocks, for coming in. Like
not anymore, bro. Nope. Those is long
it's
gone.
an idea though, right? Because you want people to want the benefit of the company. Like that's what I noticed from now, where like when I used to work at a big company.
Yeah.
And it's always fuck this company, dude. Use another towel. Fuck this company. Grab a new blade. Grab a new tip. Now I'm at a small company. I want to do good for them. I want to do good by them. So it's like, oh, can I reuse that? Oh, I don't need to use that. It's crazy how your mindset changed because I benefit from that company growing. You get what I'm saying? Where in my other company, I didn't benefit from that company growing. It already hit its 180% day.
Yeah,
It already had hit that. I missed out on that, and I wasn't part of that.
And that's the thing with companies and corporations. It's not only that you come somewhere, you open up, and your whole argument for the thing. You come to somewhere where you come to these cities, you open up shops, and what do these people need in these cities?
Well,
they need
yeah.
fucking jobs. And the one thing that these corporations are really good at is they're good at bending over people, because at the end of the day, it's a very exploitative system where like you look at Amazon and how entrenched it is in Baltimore. I mean, there's really things where it's like
they're definitely good at that, right?
But this is the thing. Hold on. You're taking advantage of a place that needs work and jobs, and that's the biggest leverage that you can fucking have. You can come in and do whatever you want because people are going to work at the end of the day. I can pay them whatever the fuck I want. There's a minimum wage, and if that's the minimum wage, that's what I'm going to pay them.
But a lot of people look at Amazon like a good job, bro. I mean, they're doing better than a lot of other places, and they're still not even,
well, that's because
giving the best.
They have, like for no resume or no skill background, they have the highest minimum job you can get on a fly.
So that's what I was going to get to, though. So what is the true thing that they're bad at? They're bad at the hiring, just like all jobs are. A lot of jobs are, right? I was thinking about that today. I was like, man, I feel like my story really resonates on the story of like, just good people attract good people, bro. And I'm sitting here and I'm working for these guys and I'm just getting to know these guys more and more. And I'm like, man, these guys are truly good people. Why did they run into me that day? Another person that views himself as a truly good person, bro. And next thing you know, now we're all three together, like going about the world. Like we're all doing this together now. It's three, like, and it's like they can sense that it's a good person, and I can sense that that they're good people. It's a weird connection like that. And I was tying all that. I'm getting to a bigger thought. It's just like I was tying all this into of like, well, these companies are bad at hiring because they exploit, so they don't care so much, but they're bad at choosing who they bring in. I'm doing this brewery down on Guilford Ave, and anybody knows like that's not the best location. I'm talking to the people in there and they're like, yeah, this place is going to make, crazy money. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think this is a good spot for a brewery. Like, I wouldn't put this here, And I'm looking at it more and more and they're like, yeah, they're going to, I'm like, okay, I'm examining the area. I'm like, they're going to try and gentrify this area for sure, But what's really going to make this place? What's going to make this place is the people they hire in here. Because there's not going to be many at this brewery, but it's going to be that corner bar type of thing. But it's supposed to be a bigger mass producing. You want more money from this thing than a corner bar, obviously.
Yeah.
It's going to really matter who they put at chef, who they put behind, behind the bar.
Yeah.
And they only got to get that right once, right? And when you get that right once, you can reward that person with stock in the company or bonuses, let's say, right? And percentage of year-end their growth or whatever it is you got to do to entice them to want to do good in the company, to want them to look at the company as you look at it as an owner,
Yeah, well, that's the thing with corporations is that's not. I mean, like there are definitely places that are just bad at hiring, but in Amazon's particular case, you need a huge amount of people. You're growing and you're promising more and more, and you're growing at an exponential rate to the point where you just need bodies.
You need one number
bodies.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
And and
you're never see what a person makes them.
And what corporations do, they don't build workplaces around that type of ideology. It's for efficiency.
But initially, Amazon was given stock.
Yeah, but I mean, like, then, I mean, there's a reason why you feel a difference between corporate and small, because corporate, everything is what I would call like min-maxing, where like you are maximizing profits, you're minimizing, every bit of loss. Everything, even down to the floor plan, is heavily invested into to create an efficient workplace and that, have productivity at a high level. Like you don't That's what they built it for. And then you see where they tried to build these like open offices, these really cool, swanky. Oh, we got foosball in the break room offices. You know what I'm saying? And that's the exact thing that they saw, is that like when they did build happier workplaces, well, they have lower productivity at these places as well, because it's not built as an efficient environment,
Well, brother,
for that type of work.
right? But what you said is what I'm saying, ass backwards, right? So you're doing the classic, not you, of course, but that company is doing the classic, what my old big company used to do, bro, where it's we bought you a new truck. So that's equivalent to your raise, but it's not. You put in that foosball table in the lunchroom,
It's an
does
investment in a
nothing.
company.
Keep it. Well, how much that foosball table costs? $480. How many people we got here? 48. Break it up. Everybody gets $10. That's way better. You just influenced me way more.
Oh yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
I'm doing this job not because I care about your company and not because I want to be here every day at 8:00. I'm doing this job because I need a payment.
And
right?
that's
You're going to influence me with that, just like a CEO.
and that's where you see that different companies have different cultures to try and inspire that type of thing. Where people try and do and incorporate these types of things into their workplaces and enforce a culture, so that people feel these types of things. Like it's and you see it where sometimes it doesn't fucking work. I remember like everyone sees those videos of like Black Friday and they do that weird ass Walmart chant, to "We Will Rock You." It's just like we are Walmart, and it's just like none of them are fucking in it, bro. They're trying to force our culture and get people hyped up. It's
right.
Like,
so think about that. So think about it like Black Friday. Like no company does a Black Friday and operates at a loss that day, right? But they give their best deals of the year. What's so funny about that? Are you going to tell me it's the quantity pitch? No, it's because you mark things up 45%.
Yeah.
But then blame again how if someone got a $2 raise in their minimum wage on the federal mark, that would increase inflation to the point you can't buy things. No, that's not it, brother. It's already inflated and your minimum wage hasn't been increased.
And that's the problem. Like, I think a great example is, something that Elon Musk has done where he's come out and said, look, you want to come work here and your shit. We don't care about the college degree, We want good engineers. We want good people here, type of thing. I think that's what's gotten him so far to this point.
Oh, he definitely gives the best.
And at some point,
vibes.
You get too big and you have so much growth that like you cannot do that with every individual one. Where now it's just like, look, now I just need bodies that are qualified in here, And we're gonna try and find the best that we can. But we're gonna miss the little guy now because we're just so big. We have so many people to look over. You're another name in the spreadsheet.
But here's my thing. Like, then I would give my chance to little guys that aren't from America. Like, let's fly in, 500 of Venezuelans best and see if any of them can work on this fucking battery. Because that really is sometimes where you find the gold, bro. You know that. It's like that fucking farmer. Like, there was a farmer on Shark Tank, bro, who came up with a great idea. It's not like when farmers water, you have crops and then it's not a problem. But then you have mass crops, you need mass water.
Yeah.
And these farmers originally would just go down these crops, bro, and just spray water over all of them and just soak them. This guy invented a system to just go right on top of, each crop basically at the bottom, not at the top, but the bottom of it, and clamps and saves like 70% of the water.
Yeah.
It's just a guy that was there that lived it. It's just like in my profession where we're always going, man, if they made this like this would be a perfect tool for us.
Yeah.
Or they made, when you're actually doing it, so.
And I mean, and that's the thing. People flock here for that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Good people, smart people. Those people that are going to drive things forward flock to these, economic centers like America, places in Europe, to have that opportunity to do that type of thing. You see people come over here. We don't have the best schools or universities in the world, but you get a lot of connections to wealthy institutions that can put you in a position to really succeed and do something big for your family back home. It's like it's just another worldly thing now where like you have America's right now one of the single greatest economic growth places that you can come to for any type of job.
America's the greatest economical creation in the history of the world, bro, that we know of.
I mean, there was the dude, his name was Mansa Musa.
Oh yeah, okay. That's the guy that like had everything though. But would his shit work for 400 million people?
Shit ton of fucking. I think it's estimated to be in like the trillions, bro. In today's wealth.
It was
you
like
know?
everything free though in his country, right?
I don't know how it worked, you know. I mean, like, but this dude was literally like the richest
That's
dude in like
like
history. Like, it's
so I work with these guys now, so I was trying to like ask them specific questions that I had about that region, and I learned two things. I learned that in Dubai, no one does manual labor, bro. It's Indians. You just start
yeah, yeah,
businesses in Dubai, and then they bring
yeah.
in Indians for the
Indians,
workforce.
Thais,
Yeah, 80% is
all
just Indians.
all of it's Southeastern Asian, you know, people.
Right. And then I
And
also learned that China has no bankruptcy. Because you know,
you
right
can't file for
now, did you
bankruptcy.
see that report with China? Like what they're trying to do, what they did? They
No.
made 3 companies last week, basically, in response to they're trying to establish like a credit score for the first time. Not really a credit score. They invented a company that basically wants to loan money to people, I guess, electronically. This is me butchering it. So they want people's credit scores before, they just give money away, but they have no credit score.
Yeah.
So the first thing they was doing was like Alibaba. They was going to Alibaba and like looking at people's purchases and like how much they spent on there. They're trying to establish like what their credit score would be, but it really wasn't working. So they were like, okay, they went to a data tracking company, which is like a payroll company over there or some shit. And they were like, you need to give us that information. And basically they wouldn't. So they invented 3 companies. One was to get that information. So now they have to give it over. And in response to them giving it over, the company that's receiving it also receives stakes in the company. So it's like they just dominate. They're just dominating basically. Yeah. They just create what they need to create.
Yeah, and I mean, like, even though they've been a widely recognized communist party, their economic centers are capitalistic. That's the way that you improve money, bro. Well, that's the thing, bro. Like I said, bro, the regulation by these companies, bro, in these regions where they pop them up, it's all capitalism, bro.
It's the
not
funniest
communism.
thing. The funniest thing over there, though, right, is how they're just like, it's the intellectual property thing to me, right? It's the fact that like they're just like, what do you got over there? Oh, you got Apple. It's worth a fucking $1 trillion, bro. I'll just invent an Apple at East Point Mall. And people can come buy these fucking phones and I'll put Apple stamps on it. Like, it's just crazy balls on them, and they're just allowed to do it. It's like, but over here, we pay $1,200 for the phone. But it's like, who even knows if it's better tech? Who even knows until you try it? You never really know, right? Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, it's just funny how I like it because it goes back to like the Will Smith and Elon thing of like, why are they more than me? It's like, what do you got? What you create? Okay, well, that doesn't even exist, bro. You went through like some government regulated shit to create a patent, to get a law, a lawsuit against like anyone making this symbol. It's like, I just fucking write it right here, bitch. And it's like, now I'm McDonald's. I like that for some reason, like, I like that, like, there's that part. Like, I feel like that might be what it takes. It's kind of like the GameStop thing, where people are just like, what are you doing? It's like, oh, you think that's going down? It's like, all right, well, we're going to just write that bitch up, and we're going to make money on the way. It's the same thing. Like, what do you think you own? You think you're a hedge fund? It's like, all right, well, I open Steve's hedge fund tomorrow in fucking retail. Yeah. It's just like, the problem is they will send SWAT teams to your home, and shut those things down. Like, it's crazy how it's just that controlled. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that here.
Yeah, bro.
But I can do that in China.
I mean, back then, what they were calling, like America for the most time was like the last frontier. It's the last bit of land that no one is on right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Besides like these Native American dudes, like there's no one else here. It's like nowadays, every bit of land on Earth and the world's like, owned by someone or something now. It's so fucking weird. Like, it's like, Russia just owns this.
Did you know that like land never depreciates in value? Did you know that? Like, I never knew that. Like, the acres of land that is, like, you're never gonna see a cheaper amount for that. The per acre amount will never go down. You get what I'm saying? It's crazy to think about. It'll only go up
because there's a limited amount of space.
Exactly. Just like
why would it depreciate? So you more expensive.
So you can get a foreclosure, right? Which is kind of like a short squeeze, I guess. But like at the end of the day, it's gonna cost what it cost to buy this amount of space on this motherfucker, and it's only going up.
Yeah. And whatever you throw on top of there makes it more.
Yeah. So that benefited the first people that said that. You know, the first people that said this is worth something, it only benefited that person that could purchase that.
That makes so much sense on why Bill Gates owns so much farmland.
But it goes back. But I'm trying to go back to like the establishment of that financial system. It goes back to the single quote of like, what stops the poor from killing, the rich? It's religion. That's the only thing you can think of. Because if tomorrow, right, there's 300,000 of us, and you establish that law, right? And you establish that law basically of like, okay, this acre of land is worth $1,000. I'll shoot you in your fucking head where you stand, bitch. I go wherever I want on any bit of land, and I put my home with my family. What are you talking? You know what I mean? That's how that would be treated right away. So it's like you would have to have the money to protect yourself and establish that. It's just like when you watch them old Wild Western video movies, and you see like the sheriff. Yeah. They're paid to break that town into law. How do you do that other than having the biggest posse? Other than that, it doesn't matter if you're trying to do right or wrong. You're not going to come take something I got, right? Better I get this through killing or not. If you show up and you're a stranger and you say, you got that through killing. Well, motherfucker, it ain't got nothing to do with you, though. It's still mine. You get what I'm saying? You're going to have to break this town. So the first person that established an acre was worth X amount of dollars. It only benefited who could buy that acre. The only person that would create that was the person that would create the law. You wouldn't create that law unless you could buy that acre. And then you established what you should pay for that acre pretty much, right? And then you paid bandits or hired guns or whatever it was at the time to protect you enough to instill that into other people, quote unquote, extortion, which is illegal, which is how you established all of this. Because if you say that in a village, I shoot you dead where you stand, land costs nothing. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So it only benefits. Yeah. So now's the fact of you created this. So you bought Wall Street 300 years ago. Of course, you're going to build around that. Of course, you can find other people that have money like you to build around that. And you can create that land wealth to go up. Meanwhile, I never even had wealth that I needed to know that I had to accrue for land. You get what I'm saying? So like off the jump, they established which land was theirs. They took it and they never gave it up unless you go in there and shoot them in the head dead. Once they established that this land was bought and its per acre is $8,333, that was it forever, bro. And it just blows my mind because the only way you can do that is through armed force. You get what I'm saying there? You killed people to do that. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But right now there's 400 million of us. And you add all the cops and firefighters and military up and congressmen that you want, and it will never equal even half of us. Yeah, but we don't do that thing. We establish that we want to play into this system of like, let me see if I can get rich in the stock system. Let me see if I can do this. Let me go to work. But at the end of the day, if someone said that shit initially, you would have shot him dead where he stand. That's the part that I'm so confused with.
See, and that's the thing because I think it's. You said a lot right there, and I'm not even going to try and break up any individual thing down. But, as far as, the land, especially in the modern era of today, when you look at America, when you look at what the Wild Wild West was like, the Great Frontier, which was like, the next part of America that we were on the eastern side. Well, the Great Frontier was what was ever else westward from here. So you see it in Red Dead where, you would come across homesteads in the middle of nowhere when no one had to purchase that land because the government was not there to say this is theirs and then enforce any type of thing because they couldn't. There was not enough people. So,
like we talked about with Pakistan. Yeah. Remember we were saying like you would just go build a home.
That's what I'm saying.
And you would never be homeless.
So what did they do?
They took that land.
Listen, no, not only that, but we had put a system in place to where now there's a whole job for other armed individuals to go get bad people,
right?
And I pay you for that,
right?
I give you thousands of dollars, and now this is a job,
and it only benefits the person that has the money.
And then, it benefited that guy, but give him a real job. But then, hold up,
people already built their homes, right?
Get it, bro. I get it, but a lot of those homes aren't standing today.
But we already, but as you're sitting there, me and you are neighbors, and we go, bro, this was unclaimed land. Me and you already built our home, and this is where our family lives. And here comes some strangers that ain't even from no part of this land, telling us that we need to leave it. Why would you ever do that? They could never
Bro,
talk us
but
into that.
But listen, bro. That's the thing. That's the thing. What you see in America's history, where like the first thing that happened was that's why California is so big. It was one of the first major points for America to grab. Once they got over there and had a foothold in that one little western area, it was just about meeting in the middle from there, bro. You know what I'm saying? And at these centers, what are they? They're economic centers. You come here. This is fucking village people, bro. These are wild people, man. And then you come to the city. The city's captivating. This is the first time the city life is captivating. You know what I'm saying? All this. There's fucking cars and shit going on here, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That is very enticing for
Mm-hmm.
people, bro.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, and that's what happens, bro. Once you go here, then you get involved in this machine that's ever evolving. It's popping up here, and here, and then they're able to steal control off of their, on the America's, land. The government was.
But that part makes sense, bro. That's perfectly fine because you're gonna go to where amenities are and where thrill is at and where job opportunities at because you're still gonna try to make more money. You're gonna try and do whatever. Yeah, exactly. You're still gonna do that. What I'm saying is, if they, you wait 20 years, that same city is where their land was at 2 miles away. You get what I'm saying? Like it was. Everything. Everybody can have city, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody can have city.
And
there's enough wealth hoarded away that we could all live great lives, bro. That's why I always try to start with the small things, bro. And that's why I said in the beginning, I learned in Dubai, none of them do manual labor, bro. And so when all of you are afraid of AI robots and you keep wanting to be afraid of it, that's the whole point. So we don't gotta fucking keep working, bro. So we gotta get out of the system.
I think the biggest thing about that is that first of all, they're using slavery. It's as simple as that. These people come in, they're paid low wages, and then they take away their passports, bro. So the job's done.
But how much does Amazon make per worker per day?
And that's no one's trying to argue against that. But back to the land thing, bro. You're talking about, this is a so you're coming off a revolution, bro. There's huge like patriotic sentiment in the union. There's huge people want to be a part of this thing. You know what I'm saying? Because nothing's secure at this time in the world. People supported the union. Now it's just about what union versus everything else, and the union ended up winning. The organization of the people defeated the unorganized people. They're able to just dissect them, break them apart, and then it's done.
They were able to do that through wealth. They were able to do that by money. Because why would I come fucking help you as a hired gun for anyone? Why would I come kill men for you unless you pay me?
Bro,
you get what I'm saying?
People, like I said, people were poor. People came off a revolution, bro. And this is the thing.
And I get that. I'm not blaming people.
Hold up, but listen, this is the thing. I don't think you do, because I think the people wanted this. This is what people wanted. People wanted a great country. People wanted a free country, and that's what was the sentiment over here. People moved westward, try to make their own lives, do their own thing. You wouldn't hear about these eradications like that house there. No one even knew what that family was, bro. Besides a couple people around here. And then they were probably killed too if they refused to move. I'm sure people fought for their land.
What I'm saying,
at the end of the day, they were squashed.
But because so many people bought. I'm not like, that's what I'm trying to go back to. I'm not blaming people for buying out to that. The fact is, what made them buy out, right? It was money. That's the only way you're gonna get me to follow you. And that time of day, I'm gonna leave my family. You know what I mean? Or bring my family for some man who says he got a dream. But listen, you got to pay me.
But listen, think about the culture, though. But that's what I'm saying. Think about the revolution. Them coming off the revolution, bro. The patriotism. At one point, we were a British colony, And then everyone's like, look, everyone's getting taxed out the ass. Fuck the British. I then fight for my home, for what we stood as a union in a country. Now, listen.
Right.
And then we defeated them. Now,
I keep my home.
Teach that to my kids, about what we did as this great unified nation, as what we did in the world at that time, bro. It's a culturally ingrained thing. People didn't sell out, bro.
Okay,
so people wanted to fight for this.
And I'm never saying that. What I'm saying is, once the problem becomes bigger, you have to adapt. So once you fought that with 5 million people, now you have 10 million people. Well, that house you established before the war is on fucking Wall Street. Okay, and it's worth $7.8 million. Meanwhile, there's people who lost their dads in that same war. You're talking about winning daddy didn't come home, couldn't pay the bills. The bank foreclosed on their home and they grew up homeless.
Bro, there were no banks, bro. What are you talking about?
Whatever it was,
people weren't foreclosed.
Whatever it was, there was no dad that came home, right? Dads went off to fight in that war and didn't come home. Meanwhile, dads went home and established land and established good land that grew to become multi-million dollars of real estate. They never shared that wealth. We had to invent a fucking law just to get a piece of it.
But that's completely wrong because the people that own that land and were, poor people got squashed out. But people who were smart about their land and who owned their land, that's why we were a free market, bro, because it was like anyone can go and create this type of wealth, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing.
Bro,
it wasn't the government doing it, bro. These were the people doing it, dog.
Hold up a second. Listen, how is wealth created, Steve? How do you think you create wealth? Like, just tell me any way to create wealth.
Bro, that's the thing, bro. It's all an artificial construction.
Exactly.
But listen, this is something that humans use to solve a problem, bro. Listen, like I said, we like I said, that's and then
people
it's evolved
took advantage of it though.
Yes, and that's not and there's no argument to that, bro.
How many hundreds of years we gotta wait until we go, you know what? Why would we let somebody say how much an acre's worth?
Bro, I understand where you're coming from, bro.
I love it. I look at the GameStop thing from a different, point of where I just love things like that. Because it just shows the power of numbers, it's great. Of course, there was the short and everything, but it's those people agreeing like, you know what? Yeah, fuck those guys. And that's what's fueling, the passion behind wanting to get more, basically.
That
can be applied to anything,
but that's
bro.
The thing, bro. That was something that was like that's something that like just happened, bro. That type of sentiment.
Right. It's growing.
But listen, no, everyone always felt that. But that's not the cause of it, though. That's not why this thing's happening, bro.
But it's the fact,
that's why it's being pushed more, bro.
That's why it's being pushed more, bro. A stock perspective, bro. Completely opposite of that. Look at it from. It's the fact that our tech has led us to be able to do all these things, right? And you can look at your phone and we're seeing the same thing too, right? And we're just instantaneously getting back. We get so much done when we can communicate instantaneous, bro. Yeah. And now we're just able to group this effort up. This can happen for anything, bro. I mean, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but like just with any idea, bro, people think that it's out of the realm. It's not out of the realm. If you showed up the land, there's 1,000 people, right? And you build 100 homes, right? And you say, we need water to those homes, bro. There's 1,000 of us. Now, 1,000 of us can't build fucking water pipeline, right? But we got some people and we got some mind, and damn well we would invent something to get water to that home, right? So why do we allow someone else to establish the pay that when we know we can do that?
Organization, is super hard, bro.
And it's laziness also, those people don't want to work for that.
Well, listen, that too.
They might just work for a job and pay for it.
That too, it's about, this is the thing, bro. Not everyone's capable of this type of thing, bro.
Just sit on this dick in your ass.
Listen, bro. Not everyone's capable of this type of thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of line of thinking, like thinking outside of like, that's why not everyone's not like some type of crazy business owner, bro. Because all this is possible, bro. You can go open up any type of business you want and push it, make it, and do. That's one thing that is cool about America. Like people come here, have success stories, fucking came from nothing, came over here, I started a business, whatever the case may be. You can do that, bro, but not everyone's built like that, bro.
But look how they did it,
and then
Steve.
An organization, bro.
Exactly, they did it in a subreddit, right? So here's the thing: I'm saying when I'm saying good people attract good people. Okay, well, anybody can attract what they want. So that if you have this subreddit here, and this is what you do, and I like this, and you like this, we would go to that subreddit together, right? So you can create that That's obviously just the title of it, but that same breakdown of anything. You can have that forum online where not everybody's for it, but this is where the people that are for it go. And now we're instantaneously talking like this, where it's like, oh, yeah, I thought about that. And this is what I did to do that. And then I added it. It's like the Schoolie Planet thing, right? Where it's like people are posting every day like, oh, bro, how you guys lock your front door? Oh, this is what I put on here. This is what I put. How'd you phone it? This is what I did. This is what I did. You're breaking down what you need, like-minded people into a sector, because it's too many people at this point.
Yeah.
So you find these sectors of like, yeah, this is what we think. And then you can make a lot of progress once you get that sector.
Yeah, but this is the one thing. What has single-handedly unified these people? You know, is it the hate of Wall Street? I don't think so. Because you can make money.
Yes,
You
but
can make
all of
money,
them came
bro.
to that subreddit to make money. They
Yeah,
all came there for ideas and tips, right? So we all are like-minded. That's what they came there for, that, bro. They're all in there for that. It may not be every single person, right? But that top guy that did all that research, he decided to post that on there and show that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he did that because he knows other people are doing shit like that. And he's like, it's like, you know, submitting, just like scientists do, bro. You're submitting your work for group review. You know what I mean? He's like, look at this. And then you might see that and go, bro, this is awesome work. But you see right there in your left chart of their 2009 review, they actually cleared 38 that quarter. So that changed out to 84. A very small adjustment, but now it comes correct. And you're like, now that you put the time into that also, you're like, damn, I do see what he was talking about on that, because that was okay. Well, that actually makes it look better that I told him about that now. And then other people are like, yeah, bro, well, we're all in here to make money. So now we're following. Now you subreddit the subreddit it. Right? Now you invented another idea. This is what I'm talking about, Steve. You're narrowing the vision, because you're not going to get 400 million people, but you can get these people, and then you want GameStop. And now you subreddit that. Now you're funneling it like this. You want like this. Now you want like this in the subreddit. Now you want like this. Now you want like this. You're funneling that, man. And every time you guys are getting stronger. The more you get like that, every time you come like that and go forward, you're stronger every time, over and over, bro. That's how they did that, bro. And that's going to be the future of like other ideas. That's what I'm saying. I want like the subreddit of like water filtration. I want the subreddit of, you know, clean energy. I want these people. It's not everyone chatting it up, bro. And just
no. So and I get that, bro.
It's not left. It's not right. It's forward.
But listen, bro. But listen, there's a problem with that, you know, because it's like you can see what people are capable of, bro. But at the end of the day, bro, this is all for wealth, bro. This is all for wealth,
yeah.
And that's something that's easy to able to do that with, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Wealth's very easy. That's why
super easy, bro. That's why
we just did that big breakdown. We just did that big breakdown. You just explained it. It's all correct. Why did it win? It's because of wealth. Because wealth is the easiest and the fastest to go. I need $100. I need $100. I need $100. I need $100. I made $1 million. I made $1 million. That's the easiest way to go, right?
Yeah.
But when you're somebody like, I don't know how you feel, but for me, like, that's not what I'm trying to accrue in life. So for me, it's like, I want to build a home. I want to build a home. I want to clean my water. I want to clean my water. I want to hunt. I want to hunt. And you get what I'm saying?
I get that, bro.
And then you find this, like, this, whatever it is. It could be 100. It could be 1,000. It might be 1 million. It might be 10 million. You don't know until you get to that point. And when you get there, you're like, bro, now we're all just here. And we're not the same people, but we all got this same kind of mindset of like this one idea we're pushing. Doesn't mean everybody here wants the same thing. You might want 3 bedrooms. I want 2 bedrooms. Whatever it is in your mind, that's okay. We agreed on this one common thing.
So
and we're following that.
How did this tie into your land point, though? How does that tie into that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
because of the same thing. So I go, I don't think there should be an amount they can put on price per acre. And someone goes, I don't think so neither, brother. This person knows about arms. This person's licensed to carry. I'm not licensed to carry. I'm Mike from Baltimore. We meet up on a subreddit. Bam, I'm not licensed to carry. Oh, man, you got to get licensed to carry. That's the first thing because I'm afraid of them. Next thing you know, Mike gets licensed to carry. Now we're both on here. Hey, bro, I got licensed to carry. Oh, now we're closer. Where you live at, man? Austin? Oh, okay, man, that's awesome. I live in Baltimore. Now we're talking, right? And then we go and somebody else joins in and goes, oh, man, you guys like that? You got your guns license? I just got mine too. I'm looking in there. I got mine because I was afraid of the things that were going on. Oh, I got mine because of this. Now we're, bam.
Okay.
Bam. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's the same thing. So automatically that all starts with, I don't think we should pay for that, right? So how do we stop them? That's what I'm coming to with that is how do I stop them from going an acre's worth this? It's what they did with that state park. That's why I go back to that. It's an armed force. It's Charles Manson, bro. It's Waco. That's what it is. It's
you take up arms against the government.
It's the only way, right?
Yeah,
so you have
way.
So then how do I accrue people, right, for my idea without paying them, right? I have to find that subreddit where we're like, bro, this is what I believe in. I'm not here for wealth. We met here, right? Where we're like, we both agree we wanted wealth, and then we did GameStop. Now we're both agreeing we don't want to pay for acres.
Yeah.
And now we did this. You get what I'm saying?
I don't know.
I know how many times, bro, that can, whoa. And then what did it do as it gets bigger? What does it do? It keeps growing. that keeps growing. It keeps growing. That's why I said the social media idea as you're building the village, GoPro at all time, because people see it growing. And just like me, you get behind it eventually because you do like the idea of what it represents. And it doesn't mean that you like everyone that's in here or nothing, but you all have this one common concept of fuck them, and you're going to reach, and when you reach that goal, you go your separate ways. That's where civilizations get confused. Once you reach that goal, you go your separate ways. You don't try to establish some 400 million person civilization. You just say, hey, we all agreed on this. And then you branch out to your own. Now you go like this. Now you're done. You're done with that goal. On to the next thing. Okay.
I think
on to the next thing, bro.
I think that's
the system.
But listen,
system in the space clouds, dog. Just straight up,
bro. Then at that point, bro, you're then relying on people to then squash out whatever type of like evil wrongdoing is going on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, the one thing that the governments have going for them is centralized power. You know what I'm saying? Their locations, like how they have their power, where they have all their spread. I have my, you see, I always wonder all the time, like, why are cops on the front line taking this shit? And I'm just like, well, someone wants to be on that front line taking that shit. So you have to battle that as well, bro.
It'll never be easy, brother. It'll never be easy.
Listen, bro. Let me finish the thought, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'll let you go.
I'm sorry.
Let me go. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when you have people that do overcome something like, want to do that and then they overcome and win, well, then I don't think the next step would be that, you just branch it. Because then again, you have to then require, you're so spread out. How are you ever to organize again and like, take care of this guy, take care of that guy. You know what I'm saying? Then you turn into then we're like, okay, well, we need dispatching equipment and we need cars and stuff. Okay, then you turn into a police force and stuff. And it's like, okay, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? But it seems like a natural progression, but even though it's twisted.
No, it's not twisted. You're just removing one fucking thing. Like I said, America's great. I told you before, when we really get down to the ideas, you go, you know what? Exactly what they invented is pretty much like you would invent it. What's the one fucking problem is that you do it for a per hour wage. It can still be done. We would have still built it how they built it. It just would have took more time. It would have been harder, but we were going to do that. No matter what. The only thing there is wealth. We're gonna, bro, if it's like when I try to tie all these thoughts in together, bro, because that's what it is. It's a collection of thoughts, right? So it's the guy that's watching that honey, right, with that bee, right? He has time. He's just sitting there. He's just sitting there thinking about that, bro. It's the same exact thing of how we would think about that. We would come up with ideas, and go, okay, well, at first we built a bamboo water pipeline. But shit, we know how to mix concrete. We got a concrete worker. And you build on that. We would still build everything they have. We would still build skyscrapers, bro. Because the fact is, if you were taken care of, right? If you were taken care of, it's no longer an obligation, right? No matter what, you're going to have your food and you're going to have your home. You're obligated to that. I'll never take it away from you. Now, what do you want to do with your free time? Think about Corona, right? First week, what do? You play video games. You're all system. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, like I should do something for myself. I should start getting myself right? So if you had nothing but free time, your two basic necessities you're taken care of, what do you start doing, right? You start going, well, shit, I kind of do want to like work. Like, what do people say when you're off work for a while? You're like, I miss it. Like, I do want to go back and get them. You want to do that. But you don't want to be a pawn getting fucked over while Amazon makes $187,000 a day off of you and you make $20. You will still eventually participate in these things. They take more time. And if you don't want to, then you're not going to be a homeless man on the corner. You still have your home and you still have your money. You still have your family and enough to survive.
And I understand. And I mean, like, and up until that, up until this point, I don't
backwards.
Yeah,
mine's ripped.
I don't necessarily agree, bro. I mean, like, because what type of time frame are we talking about slow right now? Because at this point, we're now vulnerable. The area the area that we have here is now vulnerable to other parties that do participate in that type of thing. We are squashed out, bro. We barely won the fight for America, the Mexican War, all that. We barely won these wars, bro. The revolution was a tough fight for us, man. But we came out on top because the Atlantic is between us. We had a huge, strong starting point. Now, think about the people who they say built America. Rockefeller, Vanderbilt. These things are not possible without these railroads, bro. And that's why they made the money they did.
Right. And
So,
and that's what I'm saying is you would still do all of those things, Steve.
you
If we're
would,
coming
you
from
would.
the war, okay, bro, we're leading the war. We're still the first people here. We're not the leaders, we're not the president of them, but we are the first people coming from Britain, right? And we're establishing shit here. You're still gonna go, fuck, a railroad would do super fast. We still need a railroad to be better than our enemies, right? Okay, we got that. We need weapons. Yes, that's the first thing we're doing. Before we build water lines, we're building weapons, right? And we go, okay, well, our weapons are outdated. We're midway through building electricity and we go, our weapons are outdated. Do them again. And you invest in that too, just like they do today. Every year it goes up and up and up. You would still invest. It's a thing. It's an illusion. Money is an illusion. You would still increase your productivity. You would still increase your strength, your arms, your guns, everything. You would still increase all that. You're just not doing it for the dollar. You're doing it because you know someone in Italy might do it for $1. Right? So when they do come here, I'm still have a nuclear warfare. We're not primitive because we decide not to do wealth. I think we really need to break that inside of our head, bro.
No,
You would still have a rocket scientist, bro. That sounds out of this world to have a rocket scientist and not him not be paid. But he would still want to do rocket scientry, bro.
But see, that's the thing, bro. Rocket scientry is only possible because of things like this, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, well then you go and it's just like, okay, well then you need to convince someone to help you dig the metals that you need. Okay, then I need to convince someone to then refine the metals for me for my shit, bro. This is the thing, bro. A lot of this is like,
brother, I love you. Just that one word, just like when you're saying the only way, it's just like I can't hear nothing after that, bro. Because it's just I just don't want to hear only way, bro. I don't want to hear only way.
Listen, bro. I think it's crazy for you to say that, bro, because I think you gotta listen to different things, man. You know what I'm saying? And listen, hold up. Like I said, let me finish too. You know, think about it, bro. You then think about all the things possible because of what this types of capitalism and money making wealth system has driven, and the type of civilizations that has grown.
Mm-hmm.
I view it as like it's like a weird natural progression of human civilization, and this is not the end game. We may get to a point where that's possible. Anything past what's in reality right now is purely speculation. You know, I think we're in a natural progression of time and how we're evolving, and we'll eventually get over these types of mechanics, bro. Think about it. Think about people who created ideologies and started these types of political thinking. When you go back as far as philosophy with Socrates and stuff, and the creation of democracy in ancient Greece and stuff, and then you get Karl Marx, who's just like, okay, well look, I've seen what the Romans fucking did and what they did with their crazy, capitalistic type of wealth. We need communism, and of course, who's to say communism was implemented in which way, whatever. There's these ideological thinking patterns that humans evolve through, and I think eventually we'll get to a point of where you're talking about, But are we there yet? Who knows, bro? I get what you're saying, and I love what you're saying.
You don't, bro. I can tell you don't.
And why do you say that?
I don't even want to get religious, bro. But there's a reason that the locusts come, bro. There's a reason why the oceans flood. There's a reason the volcanoes are going to erupt, bro. And there's all of that. And what you said, bro, is just absolutely, I think, cancer, bro. And I would hope personally that my kid would never hear you say something like that, bro. Because that's like the sickest thing that I can imagine. To me, the fact is, okay, I get how you're seeing it. I'm trying to definitely understand that. And I get what you're saying. And I think that's the same mindset that a lot of people have, right? Here's the problem. You are not going to evolve to your next stage, bro, because you artificially altered that. You exceeded your natural production for mechanical production. At this point, you've altered your natural evolution. You don't get to evolve to the next point, brother. You have to end again. You fucked up again. You fucked up again, humans, and you will end again. And maybe there will be a time where we're born again here, or maybe it'll be no different, but we fucked up again, bro. At this point, when you say you've never seen anything like this, right? So then let's look at the brother. That's what you got to do. So you've never seen more antidepressants pumped out than you have right now. No, you've never seen more suicides. You've never seen more domestic violence. You've never seen. It's a dangerous time to be alive. I mean, you could argue. We don't know the stats to say it's the most dangerous. Obviously, it's a dangerous time to be alive still to this day, right? Millions of people are depressed, and half the population, 13-year-olds on antidepressants, right? At this point, just like with antidepressants, that's one argument, right? When I go to the next one of antibiotics, you've overused them, brother. You overuse them. You use them every time you had a small illness, and therefore your chemistry is not developing, and you won't be a part of natural evolution, bro.
Listen, bro. Listen.
You've altered it, and that's why you have cancer.
And I understand what you're saying, but listen to this, bro. You're saying that you mentioned rocket scientists. We would never build those things unless you were in a capitalistic side, because we would never want to, bro. Bam. Why would we build? And that's what I'm saying with your argument, bro.
But to me, we would.
Listen.
But to me, that's your idea of your utopia, Dad. But we just both established.
No. But if you want to talk utopias, we can talk about utopias and what we would prefer. And what
so
we
yours
would
have yours would have rocket scientists, right?
I would have rocket scientists.
So does mine.
But listen.
But we're supposed to be primitive. But that's how it is. We're supposed to be primitive because we don't have money.
Do we get to that? Do we get to the point where we're like, hey, bro, we need to think about going into space? Why would we ever, think that if we weren't in this type of system?
Okay, stop right there. Stop right there. Steve, stop right there. Why does that guy watch the honeybees on that forum? Why does he write about those honeybees right there?
He wanted to get some honey. He wanted to capture a wild swarm.
He wants to get some honey. That's what he's doing at 10 a.m. on a Monday.
Yeah.
He's catching honey.
Yeah.
That sounds like utopia to me, bro. That sounds like utopia.
Yeah, and I love it.
He's
bro.
in his free time doing what he wants to do on his land.
You're not getting what I'm saying, and you're taking it as if it's like I'm like some type of corporate show type of deal. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not trying to flip you to that, but it's like.
But listen, hold on, listen.
You keep saying only.
But listen, bro, because we're looking at things differently right now, bro. We're on different pages completely, bro. And you said I have a cancer, and I don't think you're on the mark. I think you missed it.
No, I didn't say you have a cancer. I'm saying that's what came from the antibiotics. You know what I mean? Like cancer developed.
But see,
we're fighting ourselves at this point. We're killing ourselves.
And I agree with
there will be no next step.
Like you meant it as in like the thought of the only way. Like that's what you were saying. You know what I'm saying? That's what you said.
That's the part I didn't like. That's the part I'm saying is when you're saying that the only way, bro. Because we both agree that we hate this, though. So how can this be the only way, bro?
100%.
So how can this be the only way?
Look. You took that wrong. It's not the only way. You took that wrong. I didn't mean it as in like this is the only way we get to this point. I agree with you that we'll eventually get that at some point. You know what I'm saying? And I think where we're at now, humans are an ever going type of thing, bro. Like I think like I said, we've been here forever. I think we've been here before. And like I said, I think we've been in this type of civilization before, and we're going to hit this reset button, and things are going to keep restarting until we get to that type of
You're right.
perfect system.
I agree, but I don't agree with one part. I think we exceeded anything we ever did by far, but then we fucked up again. We overdid it, bro. And that's it's a classic. Bro. It's a classic. Know when to get out, know when to get in. And that's what you overdid, bro. You did it to the point where you've affected the molecule structures in your body. You're changing out organs for other organs. Yeah, you will not be a part of natural evolution with the rest of the world, brother.
No,
eventually, there's going to be something that this world produces. In my prediction, I would say something in the air. I would say something goes in the air that your lungs just can't handle.
But this is what I'm saying.
Mine too.
But this is what I'm saying what I mean by the only way. This is the only way humans will grow, by going through these types of mistakes, by going through these types of wrong ideas, by going through these types of things. And this is the thing, bro. Being humans, being living things, being what we are is a terrible curse and gift at the same time, bro. Because as humans, we're gonna start this village base. We're going to try and figure out how we work with increasing populations, food, and all that. We're going to try and figure all that out, bro.
I think you're right and you're wrong. You're right and you're wrong, though, right? Because so listen. So here's what I'm trying to say. Man, I wish you could just see it like this, man. And it's like, I know that no one really sees it, but there is people. That's what I'm saying. Like when you meet that, you're going to do that. Think about, okay, so I try to do this to break it down to people, but it's the only way I know how. So let's think about this, right? So me and you are getting sick. eventually we do have scientists. We're getting bigger. Like, can we at least have scientists? Because people would want to do that still, right?
Yeah.
Like, people would still want to look at that shit. So eventually, in their free time, people would bound together with other people who like to look under microscopes. And those would be your scientists. Those would be your scientists. That's how it works, bro. And eventually, those type of people would want to create a rocket.
Well,
and you would allow
your
that.
scientist would be the guy that was like is examining the bees in your village. You know, that he'd be your scientist would be.
Exactly.
You know?
It really is. It really is, though. But those people would eventually become to the point where like they would want more also, bro. Okay. So I'm just trying to sum up that point right there of like eventually those people would make star glazing equipment. And it's like it's not up to you to say you wouldn't have that because somebody might want that way more than you.
No, listen, listen, this is the thing. I think one thing that this system figured out. And it's not right, but the one thing that what do you want to say? Go ahead.
But this is tied into a bigger thing. It's just the fact of like that's the same thing I'm saying though of like we did it right, bro. Like let me make this clear. We did it right. What made us abuse the things we did right? The wealth aspect. So me and you get sick. We create penicillin in a fucking antibiotic, right? And we keep taking that and it makes us clean. Every time we get sick, it helps us, right? But then we keep doing research and we're scientists and we come to the point where we go, damn, bro, if you keep taking the same antibiotic, you eventually become immune to it, right? So our scientists in today's world know that, correct? And they keep prescribing those same antibiotics and they have not altered those, right? So what are they doing that for? Because those prescriptions have already been filled, brother. You're doing it for the wealth aspect. In natural society, we would do the same exact fucking thing. We would get to the point where we invent penicillin in a fucking cap. And we would go, hey, bro, you take too much of that, you will fucking overdo it. And you're not doing it for money. So you don't need to produce more because now you got to take less. And now you're actually a part of the natural human. Penicillin comes from tree bark, bro. Just like you were in a village.
No, penicillin comes from mushrooms.
Sorry, what is it from tree bark?
Fungus. No, it's mushrooms.
Is it from? It grows underneath tree bark then.
It grows off tree bark.
Okay. So it grows underneath it. It's a fungus that grows underneath it there.
Yeah.
If you would eventually, in a village, you would get that off of there, bro. And you would produce the amount you needed to provide for your sick. You wouldn't make a 10,000 fucking million pills sitting in a factory in Beijing so you can push it down every single time, right?
And you're all right.
So we did the same exact thing. Right? We weren't fueled by money, but we were fueled by our own want to do so. We did it a little bit slower, but we got to this point and we stopped because we knew what that did. Same exact thing. But we didn't allow wealth to take us to that point where you will overconsume. You will mass produce. You fucked up, bro. And when you say like, you got to like fuck up like this, I don't believe that. I see it as a Truman Show. I think that the next time this happens, we'll fuck up and do the same thing. And I think that might be a 1 out of 20, 1 out of 7 type of thing. And then you get that right. Then you move on. That's why I said I think you're right and you're wrong. But it doesn't mean that, you got this wrong this time, so next time you get it right. You can get this far again and get it wrong again.
But when something's wiped out and there's no transition of information, you know what I'm saying? There's no transition of information from time to time. People, there's a saying for it, bro. We're doomed to repeat our mistakes, and we're doomed if we don't learn from history, bro.
So we both admit we're doomed
from our people, bro.
We both admit that we're doomed right now, right?
And that's the thing. I never disagree with that. It's a terrible system. It's wrong on so many levels.
So we got that.
But the way that the way I'm thinking about, this is my theory. Just on overall, as like how we've gotten to this point. I think as humans, we have been to this point before. But the thing is, after any type of catastrophic event, it's very hard to store data or any type of written record, especially when you get. I mean, humans naturally break off into different subsections, and then slang words, languages develop from there. We see that, but when you look at time, when you look at humans, we've always tried to preserve information in some form of way to pass on. Because we have a very finite life here for what we can put out in our heads and work out. When you think about things like, okay, let's say maybe people were here before the crazy ice age, that happened millions of years ago. Let's say people were here before. At one point, they speculate there's 2 miles of ice. This is all speculation, but there's 2 miles of ice. Let's say at one point, this was your economic metropolis epicenter. Now it's under 2 miles of ice and glaciers move. They grind up, break everything down, and then 10,000 years come, no one's been here. Well, anything that is there at all is now decimated and gone. So then you have another restarting of humans. They go, they split up, as people do, create their own tribes, and you get here again. It seems like we're gonna do the wrong. We're not gonna get it right the first time. You
So
know,
here's
and
my-
who knows how many times we'll take to get it right. But humans will restart forever, bro.
But we don't need a restart. What we need is a correction. So all that knowledge and that
Dude.
passion you're putting behind to me right now is telling me about how they got here, right? All that you know and all of that you're defending right now, right?
I'm not defending anything.
Okay, but you're saying, right, but that's what it is. I
mean,
mean, I get what it's not defend, but you get what I'm saying. Like all that you're backing up right now, right? Put that to okay. Well, we both agree.
I'm not saying I'm right. This is how I think.
But listen, we both agree that's doomed, right? So now put that towards trying to work with what I'm saying. Like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everything I just said, I'm wrong in my idea of it, right? But we need something else. But here we are. We're both talking like this right now, right? And you're spending all your time defending what is that we agree is doomed. And I'm spending my time trying to create something new. And whether I'm right or wrong, I'm trying to already agree that this is doomed. Like, why defend this anymore? Yes, they did this like this. To me, it's evil how they did that. So I'm looking at it like, bam, I can stop that. Why do I have to say I have to wait for my great-great-great-grandson for it to end and restart? Why can't I start right now as a responsible human being the correction that me and you are both agreeing we need to make?
And that's the thing, bro. I never defended this system, bro. This is how I think we got to this point in this bad system. Can we do something now and combine and create and do something good and change the world? Yes, we can. Bro.
How do we do it?
And yes, we can.
So let's work.
And that's the thing. We never started talking, but we were just talking about how we got to this point. And all I ever said was how people got to this point. That's all I ever said, bro. Like, I'm not defending anything. All we ever said and while we were talking about before we got, listen,
you did great.
Before we got to this point was talk about how we got here. Now we can talk about how we can change shit, bro.
Right,
that's the thing. I'm not defending anything.
And you're absolutely right. And you do need to know your history.
How we got here.
But
it's
just a fundamental thing of from the beginning, bro. I made my point from the beginning. So for me, I didn't need to go all the way down to how we got the skyscrapers in Wall Street. I didn't need to do all that because to me, I made it from the beginning of if you said how much an acre was worth, I'd shoot you in your head. You would never be able to establish that.
And that's where people crush that.
The only thing that was able to do
that, bro.
The only way you were able to do that was wealth. So that's why, to me, from there, anything that's created from there is evil-based, bro. And I don't want to be based in evil no more, bro. I don't want to do that.
That's because the very beginning of this inception is evil, period. And that's the problem, bro, because you know what happens? They squash it out. And that's what we as other humans, bro, we can work on creating shit, you know what I'm saying? But other humans have squashed that creation.
And they will try to stop it, right?
Creation every time. And that's where we're fucking up, is that we lose that battle, bro. We don't realize how we get here, and we give up so much to get here, but then we get here and we're like, it's just fucking
This
dude.
is Steve. This is why I try to give you small examples.
Okay.
I give you the small examples, bro. That's what I'm saying. What they say is crazy. The Waco, the Charles Manson. Say what you want, but that's what you have to do right there, bro.
That is what you have to do, bro.
That is what you have to do.
With that, bro.
That
is ultimately the only way. Okay, I'll stop using that word, bro. They don't like it so much. That is one of the ways that you can stop what we're in now. You know what I'm saying? We talk about all the time. Countries are made, people branch off, fight real wars are fought like this, bro, because people want to break off from whatever type of country is going on there, and they have instability, and then they break off, fight, whatever happens from there, you know? That is one of, like, any bit of movement towards that goal may ultimately end up on that type of standoff, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because we're talking about, let's look at GameStop. It's a GameStop, one of the biggest wealth transfers that could possibly go down. That front, one of the craziest battles that could ever go down, bro. Where you fight like the U.S. government, the organized forces, the people. You fight the humans. So harbor this ideology and pass on it more and buy into it.
And that's where our offspring comes into play, right? Because like I said before, it might not be us, but we have to put it in place. And why not us to put it in place to eventually be it? Now, when you talk about that, right? See, I'm so far ahead. So I'm trying to get you to turn these gears. I'm like, okay, you said all that. Now start working to make something here, right? Because I'm already here. I'm already done with that. I don't think about that stuff. I think about what I'm creating and what I'm trying to do. And that's what I need help at, right? That's what it's not I'm right, but like we're done with that idea. Now we're creating something new, right? So here's where I'm at. You need arms. Like that's the only way. You said I was crazy last time, bro. Last time we did streams, you said I was crazy because I said they would kill me. But that's what I'm trying to convey to you is if I did
I
something,
literally looked at you and said they will kill you.
They will kill you. It's like it's a joke, but like if I tried to do something like David
I never called you crazy,
or
bro.
Charles
Manson, I was like, bro, they will kill you.
They will kill you, right? So what do? Like, do you only have one option from there? Is to not be Gandhi, and it's not to be Martin Luther, and that's where it comes into the Crusades battle of good versus evil, bro. That's belief now, right? But see it on an ultimate earth-changing battle right there, right? I'm going to try and paint you this picture of like, no matter what, right? They're always going to have the guns and everything, right? But when you get the people behind it, right? You're still going to try to have those guns and shit, obviously. If you can get a chopper, you're still going to have a fucking attack chopper if you can. But why was Vietnam able to beat America? We talked about it before, right? It's because that fucking people were motivated. Inside of everything, bro, there was something right here where you truly believe, crusade style, bro, that God's not going to let these bullets flying by you hit you, bro. It's a different kind of belief. That weapon becomes stronger in your hands, bro. Your mind becomes sharper, bro. You really believe you're in God's grace, yo. And when you don't ask those same people, that's where these religions manipulate people, and that's where they're corrupt. Because those same people, when you get to that point and you're that true and you're that pure, you don't tell them to kill themselves. It's the fact that you will fight to the death. You will not kill yourself. You will always try to survive. When you tell someone to be a suicide bomber, now you went too far. You did that egotistically to benefit yourself because those people won't be there for it. Somebody should always have the right to survive. But when you go to that point of when you're battling, not for me, not for you, not for anyone, but for us. We truly believe there's something behind it. Same thing with GameStop. They believe that they truly are fucking over the big person, bro. There's a different kind of fighting spirit you fight with. Next thing you know, you will build tunnels and you will have a fucking camp in a tunnel just so you can be there and stay, away from your family for 6 months to kill one motherfucker coming through here with a flashlight. Next thing you know, you're different, bro. You know you're fighting for something, bro. And that person that's coming to send them to kill you, you'd be surprised, bro, but they're the same people just like you. And they might not want to kill you, brother. You might run into a lot of people, just like when America's troops got over there and they go, we didn't even want to be here. That's what they do because what? Because you're backed by the dollar. You're backed by evil. You're a mercenary, bro. You can be changed at any time with that. But what I fight for, nobody can buy me. You know what I'm saying? I'm fighting for something bigger, bro. There's nothing to, I don't believe that I'm even killing a person at that point. I'm killing evil. I'm trying to, and that's where they say that's what I was saying. We're like, I sound crazy, bro. I sound like David Koresh, where it's like, yo, they come up here, I'm killing evil. Like these people are evil and they're trying to stop good. And that's what David Koresh was saying basically with Waco. He's like, those people are evil. He was doing bad things. And that's why I say over and over, he was fucking little girls. And of course, that would not be part of utopia, But at the end of the day, he was saying those people are the devil, those are the demons that are coming to kill us. And we're fighting in God's spirit. And that's why those people won that first day and were able to do that standoff with all them FBI agents and all of those people coming. Just that little small armed group because they truly believed that God was on their side, bro. And it sounds funny to people nowadays because that's what I learned, Steve. That's what I learned is they do want you to go farther from God, bro. And it's not Jesus, and it's not Allah, and it's not no church, and it's not no mosque, bro. But they do want you to go farther from this understanding of like the planet's trajectory. If you just sit there righteously and you have good intention, bro, you see the planet's projection of itself and you see it of you, bro. And you just follow that and you kind of fight with this divine right, bro, that a mercenary could never have.
See, I think you could have said that before we even went into like any of that stuff before, you know what I'm saying? Like this before we even went to any of that, I feel like I could have been like, like you could have just started by saying like shit like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because you were literally asking me like, well, what did they do with the land? How did they get to that point?
I was trying to just get the point of was based upon wealth. That's
yeah,
the
when you ask
only
me,
thing.
I'm like, well, this is what I think, you know. It's just
Okay,
like,
so
we
now
could
we're
have said,
working.
you know, you could just, like I said, you know, I think a lot of times, like like when you go into like, you know, talking and you're trying to get your point across like that, I think you get a little like, you know, mixed up along the way, and like maybe I get confused and
Everywhere.
misunderstood. You know what I'm saying? But you know, like we just had to start at that point. You
Dude,
know
I'm
what I'm saying?
everywhere. I
You know
know
what I'm saying?
that.
We
You
gotta
know,
start
I'm
at that
tying
point,
a
you know what
lot
I'm
of
saying?
things together.
Yeah.
Obviously, we established a lot of things. No matter what, we still established a lot of facts. Like you broke down exactly how it was established. I was arguing about that. To me, that was beautiful. Like I was trying to do that with you. I thought that was great. Like you're saying, this is what they did, and I'm like, but this is how I see it. You know, it's like the same thing. We're going the same path. There's just no money influence in this. I just want to do it.
No, I get you, but like, I understand you're passionate, but as you get up and then you get worked up like that, bro, it seems like you almost come off. And this is just me like talking how like, you know, I'm like, I kind of like see
No,
like
I need it.
You know,
I need
it was
it.
very like it's just like, you know, I mean, like we saw it with Gary, bro. You know, it's like, you know, it's I know you, so I understand it.
I
But
need
like
it.
it's aggressive and like you're attacking someone like, you know, personally, it sounds like, bro. And it does sound like that, bro. You know, like it sounds
Okay,
like
well,
you know, like you know, it's like, you know, you're like, and when you start coming out making your point and you were talking clearer, you know, you know, you weren't in this like, you know, like
right. You're absolutely right.
you know what I'm saying? It's just one of the
Listen,
I think you
I'm sorry.
listen, no, that's good.
You're right.
But
You're right.
But I think your point will get lost a lot of times with that type of thing, bro.
It's the way
I know you, bro, but a lot
listen.
of people, especially when you don't know them, bro, you'll be, you know.
Right, but the way that like my mind is working is like you're saying, like it's like almost like I can predict what you're saying. Be not Stephen Baker, but like because you were doing that thing of like, well, they did this. Like, well, I know how they did that. You know, I know what they did. I'm saying, how was it created? You know, so when you're creating that aspect, I get fired up like that because I'm not trying to attack, you know, the Stephen Baker. I'm attacking that idea. I'm trying to attack that idea of like, look, bro, why would they? I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah,
you're right.
You're right. And the one thing that like, you know, I'm not very good at like, you know, portraying how I feel and what I'm trying to actually establish. But ultimately, you know, what my big point is that I think about is there's ingenuity on both sides of good and evil. You know what I'm saying? And evil.
That's a great quote. That's a great
overtakes.
Quote right
there. Evil.
Yeah.
A lot of times, because evil. Let's look at it as like a America versus
Mhm.
China thing. You know, China may go farther because they're willing to do what America wants. It's the same thing with like evil. You know, where it's like, you know, good people. We talk about all the time. People that like we would like, you know, I thought I was a good person, and you think you're a good person. You know. And when we get into stuff like, you know, we start, you know, breaking down different individual things for like death penalty, we feel differently, but you know, we still have that same concept of like, you know, good and evil, which is how to handle it. And this is where good can be, you know, kind of like undercut or, you know,
you're absolutely right.
You know,
No, you're making
you know?
great points,
You know?
bro. You're making great points, and thank you for that criticism because you're absolutely right, and I do need to learn, and that's why I told you before, Chas is like a kind of a final form of me. The way that she can say things, you know how she's able to like slow it down, and she doesn't give you all of that rambling. She gives you the things that you need to hear, and then you get the point. That's eventually what I'll become. But at 27, right now, I'm this person, right?
Yeah, and you're very passionate,
and I'm this
you
person,
feel strongly, bro. Yeah.
But the thing is, like all of these ideas, the ideas when I'm flowing like that, they aren't refined ideas. I haven't got a chance to refine those ideas because I don't get to that point with people.
Well, you need to talk.
You get what I'm saying? Like that, you know but that's why I get so fired up, bro. Because like that's why I got so fired up because
that's why I get it.
Because I look at you like, okay, well, this is like the one person who sees it like that, and I know that you're doing that because of the facts of the cakes. I get it. Yeah. But what I'm saying is like when you get it, like I'm now like you're becoming the system and I'm arguing the idea of it, not trying to argue literally what you're saying, but like, look, this is why they do. I'm like, I'm trying to say it to you. Yeah, you know, like, look, why did they do it like that, Steve? Well, you would have to tell someone, you know, why would you tell someone follow me? Well, you would have to pay them. Like, I'm trying to explain it to Steven, but I'm fighting the idea.
Right, exactly.
And I'm not conveying that correctly.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm saying, where like Chas would be better about that, you know, where it wouldn't get so fired up, where to me, like, you're my best friend. So like, I hear that, I'm like, oh no, I'm never want my kid to hear that. You know, that's how I get, because I'm just like, man, like that's not what I'm trying to build, but I know that's not what you're saying. I'm not saying I don't want Steven ever say, I'm saying like I don't want you to ever. Yeah. That's why I tried to say it like that. I don't want you to ever portray that idea. Not saying you are that idea, but like I would hate to hear my best friend, you know, the one that my children would idolize, say something like that. And you were saying it for the fact of the case, not your personal opinion. That's
exactly.
that's what
bro.
all it's about.
I mean, like,
You're absolutely right.
It's like if like a cast be like, sitting here, we're like, you know, it's like, look, man, you know, they came in, they squashed the little guy, evil, tricked, and underhanded, and did whatever they could to trump good. You know, it's like the things they put in place. I didn't know about the land appreciation thing. That was awesome, Dodge. What they did here and how they got to this point, man, you need to understand these things because we need to know how to combat it. You know, because I mean, like, straight up, the only, you know, like what we need to rely on people to do, man, is want to act and act righteously and in the right and do what's good for the people and the people they care about around them.
Exactly. And we do so right. And we walk the same line as civilization would have.
Now listen. Let's talk about what we talked about earlier, though, where it's like where we said with the Wall Street bet things, where it's like, you know, money made it really easy, bro. Well, money makes it really easy. Like you said, bro, there are people that can be bought.
But why can they be bought? So that's
now
we're getting somewhere, right, Steve? Because I've already been down this road. So why can they be bought, Steve?
Because there are people willing to participate in the evil, and there are also, this is the thing, bro, there are wolves amongst sheep. There are people in the good circle that believe they're in the goods. They believe in these things.
You're right. Stay right there.
You know, okay.
Stay right there, okay? Yep. So now think about CEOs, Wall Street billionaires, right? They can't be persuaded by money, though, right? So now imagine everybody's a Wall Street CEO, and you know you're worth that $5 billion. You can't pay me enough to come shoot a gun for you, brother.
No.
Right?
No.
So why is it that now your wealth's not worth it? Because I have what I need, right? That's where I'm getting to, right? So this is where I'm twerking of where, like, you do have to provide people with shelter and food. And if you give them two, from there, it'd be up to them and their own motives to live righteously, right? And do the right thing. And if they don't, you would have to remove them. You would have to, right? Because if not, as you're saying, evil can undercut, right? But when, just like before there was money, right? When people were building Jerusalem mosque and shit, they weren't doing that for money. They were doing that for their God, right? And that's what I'm saying, Steve. They try to get you farther away from your God, bro. And they want you to think that following your God is building a church, but it's actually building your home. It's actually farming your land. That's what going to church is, bro. And that's what I'm going to really bring you around the new philosophy, bro. That they manipulated it to transfer the exact point when you get right there and you go, okay, I'm ready. I'm divine. I'm ready to put my work towards something. Build a church. Why would I tell you to build a church so we could pray to a God that we already know we're divine to, brother? We would work on other things. What makes you happy? What do we need, right? And you see where I'm at now?
Yeah, 100%, bro. 100%, yeah, 100%, bro. And you know, and like I mean, like I think, like I said, like we talked about, like, you know, the only way you can, like, understand is, like, we look at, like, what we've already done, and you look at at that point where you see Christianity, faith, I mean, like, you know, takes off, and at one point is battling, you know, a king that day, you know.
Okay.
It's an evil thought of it. So the religion, so that's the religion and Christianity, because it's evil. It was already an evil construct to begin with,
right? So
you know,
so
and
stay
that's
right here.
That.
So stay right here, right? So right here. So why did was it Michelangelo that painted the 16 chapels? Why did he paint that? They didn't pay him. He painted that in that church so that everyone who ever came in that church could see that, right?
Yeah.
So now we have that person. That person exists. I have a Michelangelo, right? Why would I ever put him in a church, brother? At this point, I want you to create works of art. Create them wherever you see fit in our planet. Listen, from that point, now I have to design an economy. I will design a museum around that. Now I have an amenity. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you never build that church, then it's not just in some place cracking right now. It actually has existed. It preserves. It was lived. It may still evaporate one day, but it becomes something that's valuable to the economy. Instead, they took that same divine passion that he wanted to paint that with for the gods, and they traveled into these little caskets that to make people go to every Sunday. But really, you're supposed to live that every day, bro. And you would naturally still have that passion to want to paint that. Create it wherever you see fit as a human embody should. Do what your true calling calls you to do, Michelangelo. It is to paint, paint. Wherever you paint, we will bring people to there. I won't tell you to create here. You get what I'm saying? Now we're on bigger. You have a divine passion to want to work 40 hours a week. Whether I give you that wealth amount or not, because I supplied you with the two things. I didn't stop you from building your home, and I don't stop you from getting your food. I gave you the two things you need. From here, you can be divine. When you have those two things, bro, that's the two I've narrowed down. Of course, there's other ones when it comes with wealth, but that's the two things of like, if someone doesn't have that, you're a homeless man on Martin Luther King, and you're do anything to steal to eat.
This is the thing, bro. This is what I think you're absolutely right, because we look at what people did, even when under this type of control. You know, they still went and opened up that butcher shop. They were still bakeries baking that bread. You know, they were still all doing that thing.
It's the same thing.
And they just happen to participate in that system because that's where the people are.
Brother, you know, your grandmother makes good bread, bro. I live next to you. I always eat your grandmother's bread. We build a house for someone. I tell them about your grandmother's bread. We build 15 houses. I tell them about your grandmother's bread. We then build your grandmother a store. Your grandmother is the bread lady. It's simple as that.
Now we're talking. Now look. Okay.
In return, she would get things.
We're talking exactly,
but it's not money, right?
You know,
what does your grandma? Does your grandma want art? Well, Michelangelo will paint for your grandmom's bread. You see where we're at now? Anything can be bartered for, bro. When you say that the problem is, I've gotten so far down this rabbit hole, right? And one problem I made is when you get there, don't try to barter of equal value. That's one thing I learned, bro. Because when you're bartering with someone, you never say what something is worth when they make it by hand. And you never tell them. Just like they didn't create something, that toy car that they sell in that little village of 30 out front, they make 10 of those. They didn't say, I'm going to sell each one of these for $5. They said, I'm going to barter for these things. They didn't approach it with no value. It's what you bring. You could paint the 16th Chapel and sell it for a can of beans. If you want a can of beans, then I want art.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Yeah. You can't equate things like that.
Yeah.
And you know what that makes people do? Create more.
Well,
create more and more and more. Next thing you know, you've got a factory of bean makers, and you're still putting those tops on because everybody still wants beans, but more people want them. And you're just getting other things in return to where you're not doing it for wealth. There's going to come a point where there's no gold, there's no wealth. What could you possibly accrue?
And that guy comes to him, he's like, look, man, I really want one of your paintings. What can I give you? Can I give you 10 cans of beans? And he's just like, nah, man, I don't even want beans. You know, just like
I work for it. You know, whatever I can do. Okay, well, I'll offer you what I have. If I can't make it happen, then I cannot afford that thing. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah,
it's the same exact thing. So you do the same thing without money.
So yeah, I mean, people did that from the beginning of time,
and you would just get bigger and bigger.
Now we can keep going on that rabbit hole because I think we're just to keep saying things, and you're gonna keep saying things that I just agree with. You know, they all make sense. You know,
so let's work.
So let's talk about it. How do we begin a change? What do you think is the next step towards implement, the very first step towards implementing something like that?
Me and you
getting it done.
If we already said saving money up, that's the first step, bro, because we have to figure out the land. That's a big issue. That's why I'm so big on that camper, because I want to see what is my most strategic point. You know, I want to go to somewhere else where I agree that this is I look at Chats's family I told you about. They have that mountain that goes up. Their whole family, bro. That's a strategic point, bro. Where if people came in, that's where I'm at, bro.
Defendable.
Exactly.
Okay.
Something defendable, bro.
So
that's just saving money. But the initial would be me and you getting arms. That's the first thing, because I feel like I'm a hypocritical anytime, because that's what I come to at first. Okay, well, I need to get arms, even if it's a shoddy, even if it's a shoddy, just to say, okay, well, if someone does come through that front door to take my land, I can stop them, even though I don't land. But I'm putting myself as that person.
I understand.
I am that person. I'm Hank. You know what I mean? I'm Hank Hill. That's my land and my lawn.
Makes sense. I think How do you think you get to the people though? How do
The
you think you
subreddit.
get
That's
to the
what I
people?
was saying. That's and that might not even be it, right? But that's like the thing we've seen that's carrying right now from the tech, all that tech and all where people are at and this certain time in history. That's what that bubble created right there, right? And that might not be it, but that's going to branch from something else. Where these more and more people, you're going to be able to get people to realize you can never, I've been saying it forever, this is where I'm at. You can never get 400 million people to agree with something. So you just find the people that do agree, and that's how you accomplish it, bro. Like the Aztecs. It wasn't fucking trillions of them. You know what I mean? You just got the people
Just get
that
there,
are doing your
find the
thing,
fucking people.
and look at all that they got done, bro. You know what I mean? Like you would still get that shit done. So how do we do it? Look at that eco village thing, right? Like they had that. So they had that writing where that journal where you can go online. So we do have to do this. So it comes to the point where like, I say I've already thought about so much shit where it's like you actually do need tech experts, bro. You want people like even Brian, you know, to be able to run you cable, get a private VPN, you know, shit like that, bro, to where you can really, by the time I'm giving them my plot, bro, but by the time they know that it's a threat, you want to be secure to know if someone comes up that motherfucking, you know, route, we got them. We can stop someone from coming here.
Yeah.
That's the end of discussion. And and like I've said before, I've thought about all this. You keep paying your property taxes. You agree to the system that is in place, but you will not be rightfully living by man's constraint. You get what I'm saying? And that's why I try to say sovereign citizen, but it is kind of like that, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you're
I see what you're saying,
but
yeah.
I would still get a driver's license if I wanted to go drive on the highway. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and go, there's fucking 350 million people in place. I'm not going to go out there and be an idiot, right?
Right.
But you get to the point where it's like, okay, that's why I'm big on self-sustainable, bro. That's why I'm big on the hunting and growing, because I want to be able to say, motherfucker, you can't come up this route. And how did they get Waco? I've already done all this, Steve. They got Waco by starving them, bro. They cut the water, they cut the lights. You need to be able to provide these things for yourself, and you need to be able to protect them with arms, right? So now you have this location, you have people that are behind you, you've taken up arms, you've established what you need, you have backup systems, right? Even, okay, you got a water filtration from a river, but you have a backup system. That's where you need the mines. That's what I'm saying. We have to network, you know, to be able to really reach the minds of like, be able to set up a backup system to go, okay, well, if they flood that, we can go to the well. And it'll be different water, but everybody will still have water. You get what I'm saying? Like, you have to be, right now, how are the people of GameStop? How are they outlasting those billionaires, right? By just lasting, right? That's the thing. You just last, bro. And you just keep lasting and lasting and lasting. Eventually, they always come to an end. We don't need no negotiators. You get what I'm saying? There's nothing to negotiate when they come. This is our land. There's no need for you to come here. This is what it is. Like, we're growing. And what I always tell you, they won't care until a bunch of people come, bro.
Yeah,
They won't care
too.
until you got a couple hundred there. And by that time, hopefully you have your ideas in place and you can start to construct these things. And just like people see the GameStop thing and they like that and they buy into that, I like to think that that would be on the news, you know, just like the state park thing was. It's like, look, we're trying to take this. I try not to go egotistical and think that route. I like to think it's going to go good and none of this occurs. But if it does, I've thought it through. And when you reach there, it's on the news and it's like, you hope people get behind that. Of like, look at them, bro. It's fucking, 1,000 people right there. They've built their homes. They pay for their land. They still abide by the man's law. They all have social security cards and social security numbers, but they're just living on that land, off of that land, and refuse to participate in any bit of system. We don't have to pay taxes because we're paying our property tax. We're self-sustainable. You get what I'm saying? I didn't sell anything for wealth. If I didn't sell anything for $1, you can't tax me. That's why I'm saying the barter system. So at this point, if I only barter things, this is what we provided this village. Now you need other people to do this. You need people to buy in. They create a village, right? And you tell them, you communicate, just like them motherfuckers communicate, the hedge funds and shit, bro. They did the same thing, but they did it evil. You communicate and you say, hey, bro, I grow fucking artichokes. I grow asparagus, blah, blah, blah. You don't need to grow that. You grow this. You know what I mean? And that's what we need. Then bam, we both got that now. That's how it goes. It's the same thing they're doing. It's just not for money. It's just for what you need to feed your family. You know what I mean? And at that point, you can't buy a man. That's the best part. That's when you really can trust someone, because what would he fuck you over for? I gave him everything. If you fuck me over and I gave you everything you asked for, you're evil. And if it took my life to establish that you were evil, well, then I'm sure the good people will then eliminate you. That's how I would imagine it goes, you know? But you hope it don't come to all that. You hope that you're self-sustainable. People leave you alone. None of us have to work jobs, even though at those eco villages, they usually do work a job because you do have to figure out a way. Like they still use money and shit. But that's why you need the mind. You need that divine, bro, that God thing I'm talking about, where it's like they know the bigger purpose. So he wants to, network that fiber line for you. And you do something for him. That's why you need to know goods. That's what I'm saying. What is a businessman? Because if you need me to lay your line, you have nothing. You have to pay me. You're only worth because you have money. You actually have no trade to give me. You couldn't barter with me in a village, bro, because you don't have, not you, of course, but you know what I mean? Like a businessman, you can't barter with me because you have nothing to offer me. I don't need money. I don't need a business strategy. I don't need a tax break. I got none of that, bro. I got beans and I want fucking celery. Do you got it or not? At that point, you're nothing to me. You need or something else. You better offer something else. Are you a woodworker? Are you a machinist? Are you a welder? Are you a glazer? Or do you got to know something to offer me? That's what I'm always saying. Like, what are these people worth? They really don't have life value. They have monetary value. That's the only thing. They can buy the things they need every day. Exactly. But you can't provide the things you need every day.
No.
And you can quote that.
No, that's definitely solid. And now, I mean, like, I understand what you're saying more, more in depth now. I get where you're coming from, and that's the thing. Nothing, there was like, I could disagree with like, what is a businessman other than like what he is? It's someone that just produces wealth. He orchestrates that type of wealth. Like, what do you think of when you think of businessman? You think of banker?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
You're gonna orchestrate my barter? I don't need you to do that. I barter my own shit.
That's the thing. It's like, when we were originally on that point and we're talking, it's like, what are you even talking about, Steve? What is a businessman, Steve? Why are you even using that word? Well, I'm like, well, it's a descriptive word, it's like that type of thing, it's like, I'm saying where it gets lost sometimes.
Right.
Like, we could have just talked about them.
I'm saying it from a perspective where I've already said it to myself.
I understand it doesn't exist, and that's Pixie dust. I'm with you on all that, bro.
Right.
But like, I mean, that describes that dude right there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, what he does. I mean, like, that's a real person in this world, bro. He just goes and makes money.
Like I was telling you before, but like, it's hard to judge anything by how I judge it because I'm seeing it from a village perspective. So I'm saying, like, what does he offer to me? You can't do nothing, bro. I don't care if you're 6'8", 350 pounds. Me and the guy that's 5'8", 210 pounds. Well, he does grow celery or he does run fiber line. We became friends, and me and him are plotting to kill you because you don't fucking offer nothing and you're bigger. So now you got a fucking problem.
But the one thing, it's like this guy comes in and says, "Look, man, I love what you guys are doing. I just want a place to stay and live. I'm an accountant." It's like, bro, come on.
We can work that. Yeah, no, we need you.
Businessman, it's like that type of thing.
Exactly. But don't say that like, because that's what I was saying. What is a businessman? Because like, do you start businesses? Do you own a business? It's like entrepreneur.
It's a very entrepreneur actually means like you actually do have a business.
Dude, I'm an entrepreneur. You know what I mean?
But
what the fuck?
I could
pay $150.
It is an all-enticing word. Listen, it's just an all-enticing word I use for anyone who deals with finance stuff. You know what I'm saying? They do a financer thing, like anything dealing with money.
I call them faggots.
Like
no.
Like you sell something.
What I'm saying is like, I don't know how you can't. This is the one that crushed me, bro. I'm gonna tell you the crushing one here, and this is the one where I realized you can't change everyone because they will want to kill me and they will want to be evil to me because I'll be a stranger. And I wouldn't have this kind of rapport with someone and be able to like get these ideas across. They would not like that idea, and eventually I think like they would, they're going to conspire against that idea of like being, we can work together on it. And then if they just want to undercut me, they can. That's why I go back to that thing of like, it's so important of your neighbor. Is your neighbor going to wake you from danger, right? Because we're both agreeing to try to like, okay, well, this is the system we have in place, and we know it's with good intention, and we know it, even if it's right or wrong, it's with good intention. We're trying to create this. If someone tries to exploit it, well, we would band together to eliminate that. So that's just, I guess, how I see it, because most people, this is the point I was trying to make, is the saddest part is what I got to. The one quote of it, is the fact that you can't change everyone, because I realized I'm a stranger coming to people's life. I don't have this rapport. And when you come to a 55-year-old man who is a stockbroker and he's got a blonde 21-year-old wife with huge tits, a fucking Lamborghini and a pool out back, and you tell them you've wasted your whole life, they were responding that in anger. You know what I mean? They would then become evil to me because no one wants to hear that for 35 years of their life was wasted.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I say it's probably safer for me, you know, to not try to convince everyone. If you can, every once in a while, you come by a guy gay like Dave, you know, where he's older and he like kind of will hear you out. But most part, people don't want to know that, you know, if I told you chisel away at this rock, we're going to build a tunnel, and you did it for fucking 3 years. I gave you everything in the world. I gave you shelter and I gave you food, but you chisel away at that rock for 3 years. And at the end, I said, we're not building a tunnel here. That would crush you, you know? And so you don't do that to people.
And that's why, like, you know, it's like when you get into these types of things and when we're doing it, it's very important that it's like we're in this together, because at this point, there's such a huge separation from what the leader and what the worker's supposed to be. Whereas, you know, everyone knows that a real leader is the one beside you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And he's not instructing people.
Beautiful.
He's like, look, this is how I move this rock, man. You know, it's just like, it was just
classic.
That's how I do it faster.
Classic.
You know?
Give you a fish, teach you to fish.
Exactly.
Classic,
you know?
right?
Exactly. But
because
and this is where,
but
like,
that's how it would go, because we would learn each other's trades, though. Like at some point, right? I would go like, okay, if you were my neighbor, and every single day, like I had beans and you had celery, at some point I would want to know how to grow celery, and you would want to know how to make beans, and we would just exchange that info.
I got something real quick. Just like when you were saying earlier, where you know, like sometimes you haven't even had time to refine these thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like sometimes other people, you know, me, I haven't even had time to refine what you say.
Exactly.
You know?
I know.
Like, let alone react to it in real time.
Right.
Like,
I'm trying to make like these points and be like this. But yeah, I try to tie it up the best I can and like give you examples and then like the way that I'm seeing it. That's why I say I'm like, what is a businessman? Obviously, I need to explain that better. But like I'm saying it like I literally explain what a businessman is, because it's worth nothing in the end. I
think it's just really important, like, you know, especially like, you know, with the ideas you're talking about, is that like you realize the ideas that you're trying to like foster, and you know, and like, you know, find like people, you know, and within the real world environment that we're in, you know, it's like, you know,
you've ever Dave Chappelle with the translator, where it'd be like, oh, he just translates, you know, whatever he says. Like, I'll just go off on this. That's why you need people, you know, you
need. You talking about the anger translator?
Yeah. Like you need people. That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, of course I want to find people that, you know, are thinking like this with me. But at the same time, like I look at it like, okay, well, I want to meet people like Steven. Like you have people like Steven. And I look at you like, okay, well, he's bringing something to the table that I'm not bringing to the table. And I'm bringing something to the table he's not bringing to the table. Here's all this shit I just said, you know, and then you're like, he really means like this, you know, this is kind of how it sees. What I'm saying is, what I'm saying might not be right? Then you give me one of your ideas and I refine it, right? And then I give it back to you. It's like, that's why I was saying of like what that guy did when he did that D&D on that company. He was like, look, like, hey, this is what I did. I think it's great, but like, do you guys see anything?
Yeah.
And then you would be like, a tweak here, or, you know, you got to do that on that. Or it might just be somebody like, oh, bro, you do this. I use this site, you know, whatever it is. Yeah. It's an exchange of info.
And I think it's like, it's really important. Like, you know, when we have these conversations where we're talking to each other, is that like, you know, these are the natural workings of like an idea and brainstorming, you know, where like you go down this rabbit hole where like, you know, it's like, you know, we need to put these things on open. It's like, okay, you know, it's like you see something like, you know, it's like that you don't agree with, you know, it's like, okay, you know, you try to dead that real quick, you know,
bro. That's why we did this, bro. This is why this came to my mind, because me and you were having that talk before. I was already trying to explain these things to you. So now I'm looking at it like I put it on recording. We always said, man, we should have recorded that. We would have broke this convo up today and been like, damn, we should have recorded that.
Yeah.
We did record that, you know? And that's just like one way I was saying. And like, I feel like the recordings would get better as our own life gets better. The closer, you know, you follow what makes you happy, the more you would be better, even giving more info like that.
I remember when we were talking about, you know, in you know, doing this thing, we're just like, well, what are we going to talk about? Just like, well, we're not going to just talk about like, you know, just news politics and current events. It's like, and it's like what even is that? You know what I'm saying? It's like we just gotta continue to just kind of have our normal conversation and let them evolve how they go from with there. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, that's what brainstorming is. That there's you come together, you're like, okay, well, how are we gonna attack something? Well, now we gotta talk about it. And I may say some things that you don't agree with them as I'm refining these thoughts, and we just gotta work through them and get a general understanding. And here's the
thing. Here's the thing is though, like why we're able to do this right here is because like you're a teacher too, but you're just not a vocal person. So like to me, I look at it like I'm a teacher, So I'm like, I look at you like, oh man, I really, this is my best friend, man. I see this as right, So to me, I'm not saying that I'm correct to anyone. To me, it's my right. And I'm like, look, bro, look, this is how I see it. I'm trying to explain it to like the first person, basically. And the way that we're able to do that is because I want to teach you the things that I know. You know what I mean? And like, I get so fired up because I want to teach you the most, and like I said, I don't even know where like all of that comes from. But like it just makes sense, and it just.
But it's the other thing, it doesn't work unless you talk to another person. You know what I'm saying? Like none of this it works unless you talk to another person. That's a part of the process, bro. Is like getting through the ideas, getting everything. It's like you don't want to find people who are just blindly on, because then at that moment, what you just brought on to your thing, you just brought on evil, bro.
And that's why. And listen, here's the thing, bro. Exactly what you're saying. So when you say like, evil can always undercut, there's these little things that the world's given you for good to undercut, bro.
Well, see, I didn't say always. I said they will.
They will do it, right? But here's the thing. But good has these little things, bro, that the world gave good to detect good. And that's why I'm so big on the psychedelics, bro, because that's what the mushrooms are there for, right? I can have this talk with a normal person all the time, any single time. And they're just not going to grab a lot of it, bro. Meanwhile, if we both take an eighth of shrooms, you can just cover ground like this. It's like, yeah. You know what I mean?
So
like,
let's think about our idea of what psychedelics were when we were children and growing up, okay? And at this point, they're demonized. They're painted the picture of what they are. So when we get to do them, say, oh, okay, it's a drug. We're here to take shrooms and trip, and we'll see crazy shit. We'll have a fun time.
Yeah.
But
little do you know,
and that's what we're using it for initially. But then we're like, hey, everyone seems to be really just open, talkative, easygoing, and we can really get some like progress ideas out here, bro.
And what do these drugs do, right? Like Duncan Trussell said it perfectly one time. Like every time you leave taking a psychedelic, you believe in God. You don't know what it is, but like you do like believe in a God. Like if you take some DMT, you're fucking talk to some spirit aliens, you're gonna believe that something exists, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that whether it's the placebo thing, whether it's right or wrong, it's a fact. So that's where I go into that divine right thing, bro. Because like that's what's gonna make somebody feel like they're divine right is when you can tap into that and go like, oh, that's when you feel like egoless, when you feel like I don't want to go. Shit, you said in 30 minutes I gotta be to work. I'm not going to fucking work. Like all of a sudden you're just like, it's not only that you don't want to do it, but you're not gonna do it. You ever notice that? Like, you could never take a quarter of shrooms and me come to you and be like, hey, bro, I need you to work 8 hours. You would just say no. You wouldn't even care if you got fired. You would just say no. You'd be like, I'm not working 8 hours at work. I just took some shrooms. I'm going to enjoy this. And you would be in this ultimate experience, basically. You would never be able to be convinced to work. That's the one thing you come out of there knowing not to fucking do. You're like, if I'm gonna work, it's gonna be for something besides that.
But you know what I do think when I'm on this shit, and like, every time I do the psychedelics at my house, I just always, even though I'll be listening to like whatever, but one thing I always end up doing, I am always super fucking productive and doing what I got to and do what I want to do and do what I have to do, and the things that like need to be done, like I just go and do them because I don't know what it is. It's just like just like, look,
hey bro, it's ego. That's what you can't tell. That's what people can't tell you. It's ego that puts weight on all these other things in your life, bro. You know, like that's how I feel about it. Like it expands down when you have that mindset from the beginning. Like you put all this weight into your life that doesn't even really exist. That's why I always say, like, if you think about life's easy. You're only supposed to eat.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the
shit.
things that I'm talking about doing are like the things that are good for me. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know what I mean? Like, even though it's something little, it's like, like I always get into like a cleaning frenzy and like organizing stuff when I'm like on like, psychedelic.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm sitting, I'm just like, well, like this type of environment doesn't produce good feelings. You know what I'm saying? What produces good feelings?
A
Really
cleanly
clean, organized area.
You
You
want to
know,
do better out of nowhere.
Exactly. You know,
but that's the point I was trying to make. Is like,
but
I
the
feel
monotony.
Like it's like you can't tell how many things ego
Bro.
are tied to, but it comes to the fact of like when you go like, oh, I want to fix my bed sheet. I don't gotta fix my bed sheet. I'm telling you, like, it sounds crazy, bro, but you think that that's a different emotion, but it's ego tying in, you know, to go, I don't got to.
Yeah, exactly.
It's ego when you say, I don't got to.
So I'm in these fits.
You want to.
And that's the thing. So when I'm in these fits and when I'm doing this thing, I remember, so the last time, that I tripped, by myself, I ended up doing like a full cleanse of like, everything that I wanted, I'm just like, man, I'm sitting, I'm just like, hey, like, we're gonna be organized, it's just like this is gonna produce good ideas, feelings, and just energy. So I remember I'm sitting there and I'm talking to myself, and I'm just like, I remember I'm sitting out, I'm just cleaning out my mini fridge, hard as shit. This is the cleanest fucking mini fridge you ever seen, bro. It looks brand new. And I'm sitting there, I'm just like, at first I was like, rushing through it, trying to get, shit organized and move around. I'm just sitting, I'm just like, wait, hold up, bro.
I'm gonna do this correctly.
Not only that, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna enjoy the work that I want to do. I'm sitting there, I'm just like, there's no rush. Like, this is what I want to do right now. And I'm enjoying like, this is cleaning.
Think about that. Stay with that mindset, right? It's that mindset, right?
That's what I want to do.
You wanted to do better.
Yeah.
Like you just wanted to do. So that's what I'm saying. You didn't do that because you were gonna resell that refrigerator.
No.
Right? You did that because that was your refrigerator.
Organized.
And look, let's say if you were gonna barter one day. Well, should I clean the shit out of that refrigerator? And I treated that refrigerator good, and I want something good for it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You put more into what you have. Mm-hmm. Everything's not replaceable. When it's not about 100,000, it's about 10. When a robot makes something, bro, everything's the same. It's the same thing over and over. They say one's never alike. It's all alike. It's all the same shit. Somebody makes something by hand. And there's going to be something in that handwork that you won't find in the next piece.
And this is what I hate about the world, bro, because, like we said earlier, bro, ingenuity is on both sides. Innovation's on both sides. And, when I think about the making of these things in front of me, man, well, they're designed perfectly for people, man. Like, and that's like all the systems, bro. Like,
it's evil, bro.
Everywhere,
it's evil. Man. It's evil. It's to take to take you away from what you naturally want to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they want you to be distracted by that, bro.
And you know what ends up happening is like, and it's extremely sad, bro. Because I see it in the workplace, I see it in places I go, I see it in people. Where they're just so beat up and they're so drawn out at the end of the day. And I'm sitting there, I'm just like, I get the same feelings. I'm so beat up. I'm so drawn out. I'm just like, this is not churning out good people or things, bro. It's not evil. Exactly.
Because it depletes you, bro. People don't want to be evil unless you are evil. And that's what I'm saying right now. The way the system's created, it makes you think that 9 evil, 1 good. But it's actually 1 evil, 9 good. Yeah. It's the way around. It's just the fact of that evil system. When you're in it, you think like it. It's just natural, That's what we became. It's a predatorial type of thing, bro.
And I think I think these people understand and really know like their psychology, and there's things of like how humans and brains work, and how, and like it's just like at times I'm sitting there, I literally feel like a dairy cow, bro, where it's just like you're hooked up, you're getting pumped for whatever you got, and it's feeding this fucking
just enough to go tomorrow.
This machine,
then we get you pregnant again.
It's feeding
so you can produce more.
It's feeding this fucking thing right here, bro. It's just like it's fueling one giant fucked up system that continues to put people down like you, like me, bro.
It sucks, bro. It sucks, and we can agree, and so many people agree.
Yeah.
So like, let's start the work, right?
Yeah,
so you see where I'm at with the land. Basically, I'm saying you need something defensible, and that's just what it is. You hope it don't come to that, but it's what it is. You take up arms, you get defensible. From there, work with me. You know, like the way that I see it is like, that's why I always say, I was telling you before, is like, okay, well, if I do it, maybe that would, like, if I showed you it, you know. So it's like we would really have to take that risk, and it feels weird for me to even say we, you know, because in my mind it's me, you know, like that's how I see it. It's like I do that, so you know, it's hard for me to say like that's when I feel like Charles Manson when I say, hey, this is we, when I transfer it like that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's up to you, you know, to say we. And that's how you get that kind of divine purpose, because I didn't get you to buy in for no personal thing, you know? We just did it because this is something we both need. So, like, if we both needed water, we were like, all right, we both are just putting that in there. We both, I need,
dig a well.
Bro, I legit need another human
Dig a
man.
well.
I need another human man. I can't do this much physical labor. I need another human man. Like, you see what I mean? That's the point that I get to, where it's like, okay, well, you need people. I'll never be able to do enough. So we would have to, like, in my mind, I try not to, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying not to establish that, because I feel like that's when you get into, like, they look at you like a cult leader. You know? I mean, like that. I mean, I hate to say it, but like that's how far I've thought into this, because I've told you about how I feel about them, and like that's what it is. But like, a cult leader just has that natural thing. You don't want to be a cult leader. You don't want to be a leader. That's what I'm saying. Like how you were saying, like the person that's leading is the one that's beside you. Yeah. That's the best example. It's like you're leading by example. No one's the leader. We're all following a common cause. That's what I was saying. You're not going to keep finding 1,000 common causes. So when you do reach it, maybe you should stand away and go find another common cause. And that's how you keep creating like good things, I'd imagine. That's how I picture it. Like once it comes to the point where it's like, okay, we did our thing in this life. That's okay. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's okay. That's going to happen in the world. We progress this point. You might have someone, we might invest in that village. Someone comes there and builds our water system, then goes, I don't want to live here, guys. And you're like, you invest it while you were here. That's all we asked for. You know, it's like whatever you choose to do in the end is up to you. You can still keep doing this on common things, but you're always going to reach a point where you want to go this way and I want to go this way.
Right.
Accept it from the beginning. That's why it's not a cult. That's why you never try to build that foundation where it's like, this is what I'm saying and this is how it is. Because I know that that's what life is. Like you're eventually, all good things do come to an end. Now, the thing is about when we hit this point, how far do we go? That's where I'm at, brother. I don't need to go far. We're at this point. We decided, hey, bro, I did what I did. You can still live right here. I can still live right here because I established in this world. I checked a square. That's, you know, that in that moral code box far to the right at the final box, bro, where it's neighbor. You know, that person that I can trust ultimately as a human being. I established that no matter what it is. Now we no longer agree on what we want to build. We established what we needed to live every day in this spot of land. You might want to do other things with your time. And you have to accept that as humans. You know, that's, I can't always say, I don't have a family, you know? So my friends are my family. So like, to me, it's like, I always want to do things with you guys. And I've realized at a point like, okay, well, people don't always want what you want. And I know that. But at the end of the day, it's like, you still accept, well, shit, that person does got my back on earth. And what you're trying to build here, this is what you need. It's not like, oh, I'm going to go back into the system where police protect me. I'm still trying to build this big village image of restarting this. But at this point, we gave ourselves the necessities we needed to live. I can no longer ask you to come like this. If we do, we do. You know, before it was the GameStop thing where we were just doing it for a common thing. At this point, it's just doing it in leisure. You know, we would do it because that's, oh, bro, let's build, we got nothing to do with our time. Let's build go-karts and race them. Now we're like this, you know, just on go-karts, man. Before it was water pipes, before it was electrical grids. You don't get to the point where it's like, how do I run this to, you know, how do I run an oil pipeline to 500 fucking miles inline?
Right.
It's enough, bro. Once you get to that point, we're done. What do you want to do? Go do what you want to do. You know what I mean? You want to fucking drive cars, you drive cars. You know, I'm going to sit here and grow this lettuce, whatever it is. There's going to come a point with every human, no matter how close we are, that you're going to hit that point. And I think you need to embrace that from the beginning of that start point and go like, look, there's going to be somewhere where it doesn't feel like this. But like as it's going, just like with GameStop, it's going, you know? But you reach this point where you're like, okay, maybe that comes again, but we're going like this now. But you're still right there. You still got your 10 acres, 40 acres away from me. You know, you're out of sight, but not out of mind.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? You still know government comes to take my land. I can go over there and get Steven, and we're ready to take up arms on that mountain. You know, that's where I'm at, you know? So that's the far right box where it's like, that's how I see you as like one of them people, you know? Well, if you want to do this idea that I'm saying, you know, where like you recreate things, you need those kind of people. You need those people where it's like nothing could waver them.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not an amount of jail time. There's nothing. It's to the death. You know, that's the only on the far right box, bro. You know, it's the ultimate box, bro. Not many people can reach that box. It's a short category of, you don't even need many. That's the thing about it. You don't need many. But you get 10 of those people, bro, you're dangerous on what you can do because other people are going to come into that circle, but they're not in that 11. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm fascinated with Survivor because that's how it would work. We eventually become 11. So at 11, we go and find 12, 13, 15, right? And they help us become 18, 19, 20. But if it ever came down to it, if we had to start eliminating people, you would do it in the same order. After it got down to like, you know, who's beneficial, you would get down to who started it, bro. That's what you get down to. And that's that ultimate right box, your closest neighbors, where you decide to build your land in this world, where you decide this is the home for my family. You want that far right box as your neighbors that you can go to and say, there's not, you know, I come to you and I need you for life or death. You know, you're gonna ride with me. There's not 25 years in prison or a $50,000 fine or nothing that they can do to take this except for literally your cold dead hands. And that's why I say the older I get, the more I go conservative, bro. Because it really is like that's where I'm at on my land, you know? It's like that's not Republican, but conservative, you know, of like that's where I want to be at. Like, okay, you still may kill me, but you're not going to kill me without leaving this. You could have 10,000 people. 9,000 of them might fold if FBI comes through the front door, bro. But you're going to have that far right checkbox if you're a lucky human in this world. Because there's some people who will never check that box, bro.
Yeah.
And you will be able to check this. And you know, even out of that 10,000, there's going to be 11 of you motherfuckers in that same room waiting for them motherfuckers to get to that last door, no matter what. And that's where I say it's the ultimate thing, bro. So to me, as I look in you, I'll invest anything in you as a person. Like whatever you had, if you told me it was something you wanted to achieve, I would invest in it because I want you to invest in my idea. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you said, hey, bro, I want to build, you know, a fucking shed, I would help you build that shed because one day I might want to build a store and I'm going to need someone to help me build these things. You can't do it alone. So you find someone that's like this, and I'm like, look at all this progress we've made in this human, you know, progress bar, 100% bar. We're as far up as any human probably can get at this age. We're right there, you know, 80%. For me to go to someone else that's at 10, 13% and build this up, it would take years. So I would invest anything to keep you and our friendship, you know, going. Because I look at it like we've already filled that bar so much where it's like, okay, if you called me up any given time, hey, bro, I need you to come here with a gun. I'm coming, bro. And I'm not saying that about a lot of our friends, you know, and I'll be honest about who and who not. But that's just what it is because I believe that if you got a call that I was in danger, you would come, you know?
Yeah.
How many people can you say that about, bro? You can't even say that about a lot of your family, maybe any. You know what I mean?
Bro,
that's why I go back to like the fighting thing where it's like, okay, bro, you see Steven getting beat up by one person. I can intervene, make it 2v1, but Steven's getting beat up by 100 people. When I'm on top of that mountain and that idea is actually going and it's time to hold the fucking line, just like with the GameStop thing. It's time to hold the fucking line. Those people that know the core, that are like, no, this is what it is. And you gotta outlast them, bro.
Mhm.
That's the only way I can see it, bro.
Yeah.
And you hope that you're spreading, like, you just do something to the Earth's magnetic core with this divine attention and goodwill to attract other people, bro, to come there, and be like, we're like, look, that's what I do. Like, if it got to that point, I already said, unfortunately, I've thought about the bad aspects more than the good aspects, But I pictured if it got to that point,
you always end.
and you had, yeah, it did, and you had an established, like, village and shit. Say it was like 8,000 people, bro. You got that YouTube channel. That's why the YouTube channel is big, because you go live, Facebook, anything. You go live and say, look, this is what they're doing. When you got boots on the ground explaining what the government's doing, this is what we've done. And this is what the government's doing. I feel like people would get behind that, bro. Just like people started showing up at the pipeline. Remember that? Remember with the natives, bro?
Yeah.
Like people just started showing up there to help, bro, because they believed in it.
Going, and like you keep referencing GameStop, but just like GameStop, bro, it was like,
look,
I wasn't even buying in, but I see what the fuck they're doing, and I'm buying the fuck in.
Exactly. You're like, yeah. Like you like it, you want to, and you do want to work for that. Like you would work for that, If there was 15 other people that had GameStop shares, and we're like, hey, bro, let's all build a warehouse, a barn out back that we can just set our computers up and just chill all day and talk in. You would do that because that's what you want to do. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's the same exact thing of like just find the people. Like that's what I say all the time. Like we have a lot of things in common. We have a lot of things not in common. We have so many things in common where it's I feel like, man, I could for the rest of my life. I can find a lot of things that I'm going to want to do in my life. You're probably going to want to do. Not going to be, might be 50%. That's a lot to me. Like, oh, I'm going to do, half of the things I can invite this person to. Yeah, that's how I see it. Like we have a lot in common,
Right.
That's why networking, we got to network. We got to go out there and meet these people that when you do get that land and we do build that and you start getting that following, you can bring those minds in, bro, who can start, I hate to keep going bad, but like build you an electric fence, set you proximity mines. That's next level shit. On the positive aspect, start laying out your water, your sewage, things you would do.
And I mean, like, I've said it before, bro. And anything like that, like I think about it, it's just like, bro, like I know what type of mind like I'm like working with too, bro. And it's like I can literally. I know I can learn or do anything,
bro. And I believe you can too.
Fucking pipe.
Bro, I feel like we're dangerous, bro. I feel like we're a dangerous combo, like to the fabric, to per se, not to put yourself bigger than it is, but as per se, we are a danger to the fabric where we're two people where we kind of see both sides of the coin, but we have motivation to change it. We just need that direction, and we're stuck in this flux part where like we can't find that direction. We both agree. We don't like the system. We don't like the politics. We're tired of working, but that's what I'm saying. I think you need to get the land. Do you get what I'm saying? Like show them like, hey, this is where we're doing it at now. We're not just saying it on a subreddit. Now, what if someone took their GameStop and bought land, 40 acres of land, bro, and was like, hey, anybody can come here and live free right now.
Bro, that's
when you're starting to get crazy, bro. You know what I mean?
And that's the crazy thing, bro. Is like, it's like as I'm sitting there and I look at shit, and I'm just like, I'm looking at like, I'm just like, I'm sitting there with like if I really sit here and look, I'm like, I got my limit order. It's like, it's $10,000. If this ever was a possibility, this is the first fucking thing I'm doing, bro. It's like, I literally thought about, I'm just like, look, I'm taking this money and it's just going right to some fucking land, bro. It's literally,
just right away.
I don't even know what I'm buying. I don't even know what I'm
defensible land.
I'm gonna buy it. And then you got land, bro.
Defensible land.
You just figure out some way to.
I see what you're at. You're absolutely
fuck it.
You're absolutely right, but you don't want to build something that's gonna fail in the long, right?
No, you don't. No,
you want to build something correctly,
bro.
So that's why I like the camper idea, bro. Because you get out there and I get to see, like, okay, here's Montana's laws, so I can do this to this extent. And if they overstep this boundary, I have this land that's defendable from this way.
That's the thing. I thought about so many different things, so many different pathways. If I was to obtain this money, hold up. Well, nothing even happened yet. So let's hold up. Let's wait. Let's fucking hold up because it's not out there yet. But man, it's just like saving, try, and that was the big thing that, like, when I was looking at this thing and I'm like watching from the outside, and just I was looking at myself, it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess, because you make some money, that is some motivation, sure, but no one even knows what's going to happen. I don't even know what's going to happen. But I'm looking at myself, I'm just like, well, man, it's like you don't get nowhere without any type of risks. And I looked and I was just sitting there, and I remember I was up late that night. I was sitting there at work. I was not doing much work at all because I'm just sitting there. I'm beating myself up, bro. Because I'm just like, man, you want to go, but you don't want to take the fucking leap. You don't want to take that jump. It's like if I'm sitting up on top of like a 60-foot cliff and I'm just can't fucking jump. But I'm here. I've came to this moment. I've thought up and put myself in a position to where I
prepared.
I came, look, just like if I was to go cliff jumping, and I was like too scared to jump. It's like, well, a series of events led me to this
edge of the cliff,
jump, and I was too scared to jump. And I was like, man, I just fucking jumped.
Yep.
And after this, it's like it's something small, it's something crazy, but I feel differently after that, bro. I'm sitting there, I'm just like, risk. I'm just like, I'm gonna take some fucking risks, bro. I'm gonna stop playing it safe to my chest. Like, it's just like I'm sitting here. I'm like, I'll sit here and look at like investment. I'll just be like, look, man, I'm trying to hit big. I'm gonna risk some. I'm gonna risk what I got and just go and just try to hit some, whatever. And it's like, whoa, I'm not taking risks in life, though. I need to go and take these leaps of. And sometimes, bro, it'll be a leap of faith, dog.
Listen,
and
here's my thing that I've learned, bro. When you take risk, right? Everybody has their own beliefs, but I do believe that you eventually do have a destiny, on this world.
Right.
When you take those risks and they are successful to take you closer to that destiny, bro, you don't feel the things that come along with taking those evil risks, bro. And I'm telling you, I've noticed this, man. When I went to interviews, like my new job, I had a new job. I felt no butterflies. Not one given time did I feel butterflies, bro, because I was going closer, it felt like, where when I went to my original, my old job interview, I was going there for the paycheck. I was going here for the people. I was chasing that, not the monetary to it.
Right.
And it felt like I was bringing myself closer, and it didn't feel like a risk. So that's how I picture like a lot of that would feel. Like you were saying, like I didn't sweat today. It doesn't feel like a risk, it feels like you made a bet, and you're betting on yourself, and that is what it is.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, in this aspect, I'm trying to fix it, but in this aspect, it's like I don't have much control over what I really end up with at the end of the day, what I'm saying, with this particular risk. So I think it's easier to just be like, oh, well, I'm not wavered by it, but but it taught me something. It's about making that leap and figuring it the fuck out. And then, regardless, bro, it was like, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it.
It is what it is. Once you jump off the cliff, you can't come back.
Keep your head down, and you'll reach your point, bro. You know what I mean? Like, no one ever said anything was like ever fucking easy, and nothing ever came easy. It will be rough. It will be tough. There will be days you probably will just fucking hate whatever's going on, because a part of everything in the way is not all sunshine and rainbows.
Right.
That's why what I was thinking about, I was like, man, you just gotta become in love with the work, bro. Because at the end of the day,
grind.
Because at the end of the day, bro, it's for a greater purpose. There's a bigger goal in mind.
Yeah.
Bigger ideas at stake. 100%. It's like you have to. Work's what you define it. There's bad work. There's good work. But not to me anymore, bro. There's just work.
Exactly how you're thinking right there, right? I'm just not a selfish person, bro. With all these ideas and the way that I see it in my head, I could go buy an acre of land and build my own home. I can build one home. I can do these things for myself, but I know there's other people who are tired of this shit, man. And they just don't, like you said to me before, where you're like, I never thought about that. I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah.
And I just want to tell them it's an option, without becoming that person I became that, you explained in that rant, where I was out of that rant where it's just like, that's without becoming that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the older I get, I feel like I'm going to get more along like how Chaz is with that and get more defined and more
100%, bro.
refined
Yeah.
in those ideas and
Yeah.
how to convey people. And that's why I'm always so big on like social experiments, bro. Because I'm not even a sadistic way, but just to get people to follow you. Like once you know where I'm at now, I've explained it to you. I'm on that land. You need to get people to follow you. And not everybody is Steven. So like what works for you isn't going to work for someone else. If they're still looking for me to explain this idea to them, I need to find a way to relate to them. You know, so that's why I like the social experiments, because you get to see at the end of the day, there's going to be a certain amount of social personalities. There's going to be a certain amount. It could be a trillion for all I know, but there's a certain amount of personalities on this fucking planet somehow. You refine those down, bro, and you find these little things in people, bro, and you can really make a lot of progress in shorter time like that. Like when your boss remembers your birthday or something, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
type of thing where it's
Right.
like, whoa, you know, you remembered I said that we had a friend conversation. I bring up a memory, you know, 3 years later, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember you was telling me about your little cousin that lived up in PA. Oh, that's where you're at, you know? Oh, bam. It's like those little things, right, that really tie into friendship, and you jump these leaps and bounds over like, I just see you every day.
Right.
It's like these certain things where like when you really put that effort in, you see it, you know? So I was thinking like, I've got to learn how to interact with all types of different people if I'm really trying to like build that idea,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And
Right. I get you. Yeah.
hopefully it gets to the point where like someone else, it gets to enough people. It's just like with the wild rabbit thing, and like someone takes it, you know, takes that idea and does another one, you know, and like try to like build it like that, because at the end of the day, you can't do it. Like you're not going to make systematic change in one village. You need villages. That's why I said it might be our grandchildren, bro. It might be our grandchildren. But I guarantee you, if I raise my child, you know, with this type of mind, and you raise your children with this kind of mind, and we put them together from the time they're birth, bro, they're going to make even more impact than we did. We didn't get together until we were in third grade, 10 years old.
Right.
You know, and even then we got our patches. You put them as neighbors, bro, and there's no evictions. You know what I mean? You don't got to move for work. There's no reason to move. Your neighbors. You grow lifelong friendships, and you grow these ideas, and you bounce these ideas off each other to where they're like, there are Super Saiyans,
Yeah.
you know? And then our grandson is Super Saiyan 2.0. And just like next thing you know, like we built this land, and that they're like revolutionizing and modernizing this land, you know, with tech and kiosk and shit. And we just like built the foundation, you know, like that's how I see it. It might not be me, bro, but it's just like with my job. How I was at my job, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, we all keep complaining about this fucking job. I come to my friends, I come to my girl, and I'm complaining about things that are wrong with this job. Shut the fuck up if you don't like it, and go do something about it.
Yeah.
We all sit here in this government and we keep going, I hate that these taxes are like this, the cops are this, blah, blah, blah. Go do. That's what I'm saying. You guys never got no ideas, bro. You guys want to bash me all the time because I'm coming up with ideas and go, oh, he's like that. Or, you know, you could say he's a liberal, he's crazy. Yeah, that'll never work. That doesn't work with money, bro. I don't see things in money. You know what I mean? I see it in willpower, human power. It can fucking work. You just don't see it like this. And if you could, we would be on the same path. You wouldn't be going to work tomorrow. We'd be able to work on the same common goal a lot fucking easier. Bro, you put them people together since the time they're kids. You let them grow up together, bro, with these things that we've already learned. Oh my God, bro. Like I could just imagine what my kids are going to do. I feel like I owe the planet kids. Like I said that to you before, remember?
Yeah.
I was telling you the same
Yeah.
thing. Like I feel like you owe the planet kids because like, bro, this got to keep going,
Yeah.
you know? So why are we going to sit there and go, everything fucking sucks, but no one comes up with a goddamn idea? So that's where I'm at. That's why I wasn't trying to bash you so much earlier, but it's like, okay, enough of that. Enough of what they did. They did what they did, and we're learned from it, you know. But let's start really working on ideas. Like I really need ideas. I'm 27 years old, you know. So in my mind, like I've got to get shit done. I'm finally at this point. I'm at this point in my mind where like I know what I want to do with my life. I don't want to be a movie star. I don't want nothing. I want my land. I want to try and start an eco village basically, and like eventually make that big. That's what I want to do. You know, I've seen a quote before that said, you know, all I want to do is make things more beautiful, and that will be my life, you know? And that's kind of how I see it. Like, I just want to be able to, like, kind of give other people. I know I'm not the only person that thinks like this, bro. And, like, I'm going to run into other people that kind of, like, naturally had got this too, bro. And I feel like that's when, like, real progression is going to start happening. Because other than that, like, okay, you introduced me to a friend of yours that you're like, bro, this guy really like believes in the idea. Okay, well, I got to go explain all this to him, you know, where like you want a person to come to you and kind of already get it where it doesn't
Right,
take me
right.
having to go all this and explain, I'm doing this
Right.
because we're on a podcast, but you want to be able to say, like, this is how I see it. Yeah, bro, we're right here. You say your point, we say your point, we agree, and we go.
Yeah.
We got to go. We're 27. You're about to be 27, or you're 27 now?
No, I turned 26
You
September.
just turned
So I'm gonna
26,
be
right? I always fuck it up,
September,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so you got another one coming up, but you get what I'm saying? Your late 20s, like, we're running out of time. We're going to lose our youth, bro. You know when they want to kill me on that mountain? When I'm 50. By that time, I need youth to protect me. I'm so far ahead of these guys, bro. I just need the money to really get it going. That's what I'm focused on right now. Like, that's why my goal is to acquire this money, get this camper, establish my land, buy my land. Like, whatever I need to do to acquire that is what I want to do. I don't know how I'm going to get that money. I don't know what it is, bro, but it's that divine right, bro, where it's like, I hate to use the word right, but like that divine feeling where it's like, I feel like
Yo.
God's going to bring that to me, just like it brought my job opportunity. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to
Yeah.
keep following these things that only myself tells me to follow. And I'm just going to keep, getting closer and closer to it. And that's the thing I'm saying. Nobody can tell me anything else. That's why I feel like I'm at my form where I need to stop now chase things, because no one can tell me my truth anymore. Like, you can't convince me to go be a glazer. You can't convince me to start a business. You can't convince me to be a policeman. You can't convince me to do nothing that you want me to do. I'm unviable right now, bro. The only way I would take your money is if I was funding my own goal of leaving
Right.
you
Exactly.
and ultimately
Yeah.
rebelling against you. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? I'm already past that. You can't offer me nothing else. I'm only buying into your system as long as I have to, in my mind.
Yeah.
I just need to acquire the funds to be able to leave you behind, and not just make this for myself, but be able to get like-minded individuals, work it all together. I got so much more thinking to do on how I'm going to tie these subreddits with the Village Land, with a YouTube, go live, meet
that's,
people. I got a lot to do,
That's
and
what,
I got to start.
That's what people do, because there's literally free platforms out there. I mean, you can go like these eco villages pages and shit. The idea is, it's about because I mean the idea is, is like you find the way that it's found. It's not on the front newspaper. It's not on the front of the Facebook page. But this is good because you find the people who are searching for that.
Exactly.
It's
the subreddit. You know what I mean? It's a subreddit and a subreddit. It's like you went there because that's what you wanted. And now you're here and you're like, oh, that exists?
Yeah.
That always existed, bro.
That's one of the things that, like, especially with, like, when I started, just exploring, like, the Reddit, the Wall Street bets, and trying to, make money on Robinhood type of deal. It's like, okay, well, first I got into a group of, with people like that. It's like, okay, well, I'm reading stuff. Well, I would never ever comment or talk or chat with anyone or even interact with anybody. So I started doing that. I started talking. I started talking to people. I started trying to be like, well, what happened to this? But then it's like, it was at the end of the day, you all, I can offer you this, but you got to do your own thing. You got to do your own due diligence, and and just chat with people and be like, oh, okay, wow, I did not know that.
I'll look into that.
Okay, wow,
Yeah.
okay, and then not only that, but sometimes most people would just send you a resource. You're like, wow. They send me you've transferred me information now.
That's why I'm saying, sharing those links, is so big.
And it's okay. It's like,
but a perfect example is just how the other day when you told me about the Volkswagen thing, I had no idea about the Volkswagen short squeeze. So I see that guy that was commenting on there. I commented on there like, bro, hey, my friend, teaches me a lot. He was telling me, look this up. This is something to really check out. It's the same exact thing. He's like, oh, bro, I never heard of that. I'll check it out, right? Someone else ends up commenting on there. And in that comment, that guy's like, hey, bro, check out what that guy said up there about the Volkswagen short squeeze. Check that out. It's like just from you saying that to me, because I'm a teacher. I don't hold this info in. I want people to know what you taught me because you're a teacher. You wanted to teach me. I want to teach you. See how it is when you work with good people who want to do good things?
Yeah.
Like, it's just easy to do that.
Yeah.
But when you work with these evil people where it's like, oh, I need to hold this trade secret because if not, then I won't be able to get my patent for $30K. Then you're evil and you're not buying into the future.
Yeah.
And that's what sucks, but we got to change it.
And I mean, and
we would change the fucking Ripple.
That's the thing, man. I mean, like it's only one facet, but I mean, like the one thing that really turned me on is like, I mean, yeah, like, of course there's always the want, to like be able to just like, okay, yeah, you're gonna go to something where like you believe you see these guys, they turn little money into some big money. It's like, well, Rob, I can do that too,
Right.
And I mean, like, I know it only deals with making money, but I mean, like that's why I looked into it initially, because I was like, look, this is something that like you can do anywhere, and it could fund a multitude of things. Do you want this to be a career? No, I don't want to be a career tradesman. I don't want to be working on Wall Street. Can I somehow play this game and make some money from it, and
Yes.
maybe make some life moves? Yeah. Do I put a lot into it? No, it's a little side thing. It doesn't.
You're taking a risk. You're gambling.
Exactly.
Just like someone plays the lotto, but you're putting
Exactly.
in something you actually believe. That's why I say don't play the lotto and scratch offs and shit, because it's random.
Exactly.
At least in this, if I lose, I'm the one that put it there.
Exactly.
That's why I like sports betting. It's like, I put that dollar there. That's
Yeah.
better than me putting a lotto and saying, hey, machine, pick a government number machine for me to win $40 million. They ain't never giving Michael no $40 million, I feel like. You know, I'm about to go get that shit somehow with a chance like that. And I talked to, you know, one of the fucking, you know, richest people I know. And what's he say? The 2 ways I learned to get the chunks of money: stocks and real estate. That's how I got my chunks of money in life. And he's not a Wall Street person or a real estate agent, but he knows what the system takes. That's why I was saying networking, bro. That's why I got you there that day, because I've already agreed that I need to make the money. That's the only reason I'm on, you know, Robinhood with you, trying to make a GameStop play, make some money, because I know I need to make the money.
It took you a little while to sell you. You're just like, you know, I don't know, you know, whatever, you know. And you get on, it's like you can make a little bit something here, man. You know?
Exactly.
Even if you don't change nothing, maybe you can make a little bit to make it a little easier along the way. You know, plus it takes no effort.
Bro,
I push buttons.
Even if I lose it, I'm still going to try again. I'm going to put more money in there and try again.
Push buttons and intake information. You know, I'm already pushing.
I spent $80 on papusas
on something else. You know,
I can put 50 in DraftKings,
and I'll intake some stupid information from this world, and I'll go push a button on something else. Well, I can actually take in good information and push a button based off that information, and maybe make a little quick buck.
Dude, okay? You're smarter than Joe Biden. You're smarter than the CEO of NASDAQ. You know, like these people, they're actually nothing. The one problem that happened is they said something evil and no one stopped them. And that's what the problem is, bro. And we're manipulated. But when you really see how many of it is, and you go, oh, every day they just manipulate the stock market and completely control our financial future, you would kill those people, bro. That's why they give you a Jesus. Because it's like, oh, those people are bad. You'll murder. Give you a 10 commandments. Bro, trust me. If God created you and someone was abusing or raping the land, he would want you to eliminate that evil. He would want, there's a batter of God. That's what I'm saying, bro. I don't know. This is like, it's going to be like the next level of my evolution is really that religious aspect of me, because it's 100% where I'm going. Like, I know 100%, bro, there is something there, bro. Like, there is something there, and they want you to go away from it, bro. And that's when I got into that big question of, like, when I go crazy conspiracies of, like, you say, well, what would it really do? It's all little things, bro, to maybe all little things for you to really not get how crazy it is that you're here and what your purpose is. You know, that's really what I think it is. And that's why I say, like, bro, you don't know if you can breathe in space. You don't fucking know. You really don't know, bro. You've heard of someone do the math, but until you really do it and you figure it out yourself or whatever it is, you don't fucking know it, bro. Don't take someone, that person is getting paid. They're getting paid monetary value to provide that info. It's not someone that's doing it out of their own divine right. They have intentions behind that.
Yep.
I don't believe any of them are telling the truth at that point. You know, that's where I'm saying where I'm at with that. I'm not trying to get into flat earth, but it's like, dude, I don't know what you're telling me until I prove it. I don't believe it no more. You know, I need to know my own fucking truth, because they've rigged the fuck out of this shit. Like, this shit is crazy rigged up, man. They did great. They did great. And it just keeps going.
I mean, that's the thing, man. You know, it's like, you also have, you know, a system, you know, we believe started off, which was like, you know, for the people, and, you know, was going to be for us. And then, you know, you get into the battle where it comes, you know, good versus evil.
Certain individuals.
You know? And there's battles won and lost. And there are people that are turned and changed, you know, in this system. There's money, financial gain, simple power, you know, just to want to control other people. And you know what what they created, like I said earlier, where they min-maxed it, where they, they minimized like the single thinking, and made
Yeah.
and reinforced the manufacturing, like mass reproducing of like, ideas. It's like of turning things over quickly and fast, and and what the money, what the cost is. And as soon as that fucking dollar was just not backed by any fucking thing, you just got taken at face value. And now we're really in a fucking weird
But
ass
here's the
game.
thing.
You
With
know?
all that they did, bro, they created these people like me, that are gonna like that created this, that created this counter thought to be like, it doesn't have to be,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
way.
yeah,
We can create a counter thought to that.
yeah.
They
We
led
can.
us to this point.
Yep. And that's the thing that's like, remember we were talking about before, where it's like the next level of consciousness. You know what I'm saying? It's like, as of right now, you have peeps and like, and blips of this consciousness that, is like,
Right.
encompassing. It's like a next
That
grand like
okay.
step and like level up for like the entirety of the human race, type of deal.
You see them manipulating this and using this evil, and that's the point I was trying to make before. It was that's how I know, like, personally, bro, where I believe good things are coming to me, because I really know, like, I have like this unwaveringly like love for other humans, like especially ones I care about. So like when I think about there's some CEO in a penthouse manipulating the stock markets for grandmothers and grandfathers to lose money, like if they did that to me, I don't feel that fired up about it, because I feel like I kind of have like this suffering mindset where it's like, whatever you throw at me, I'll handle. That's how I kind of deal with it when it comes to me. But when it happens to the people that I love, I hate that they do that to you, to your grandmother, to my girl, to my nephews. That's what's given me this fire to want to do this,
For the self.
That's what's given me that, is to be like, fuck you. Fuck you. You think one of you can just get all of this while everyone else suffers? No, fuck that. Fuck you. Fuck that. Y'all gonna have to kill me before I buy into this shit. Like that's where I'm at. Like, I'm so mad that they're taking advantage of you guys. That, like, that's why I'm scared to have a child, bro. Because right now I know I'll bring them into a system they'll be taken advantage of. And from the moment they're here,
Yeah.
Like, bro, I have a child on my land at a home birth. Don't nobody know that kid's born, bro. He ain't got a social security card till I take him somewhere. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that boy exists in my
He was born in
village.
a
He don't
hospital,
exist in that. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I'm seeing things, bro. That's what I said. I'm gonna raise a country boy, bro. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know if I'm saying he's getting no social, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it's out here, it's this type of world where it's like, I'm not going to let these evil things they created manipulate you. That's why I was trying to explain to Brian and Tyler, like, bro, don't let your kids see those Capitol riots, bro, because that's what they want, to funnel that idea, to manipulate you to think that, like, this is the way things are. Just like we got into 1,000 times of, like, you think Africa's this, or you think Baltimore's this. Like, they've manipulated to think like that. So, like, my child, there's not going to be none of that. And I'm going to live by that too. You know what I mean? I'm not going to show my child things that I know a human mind, adult human mind is supposed to process, which is what we're doing to our youth. And you're buying more into their system.
Yeah.
You're every time you do that.
The invention of like the internet and TV, radio, they're great inventions when good is able to harness these types of tools.
Not only that, but it's meant for the older demographic. It's not meant for a 2-year-old to have a fucking tablet for 16 hours a day.
Exactly.
It's okay if you're 22 and want to do that, is what it is.
And that's the thing where it's like, where nowadays, like, you see people where like they're allowing society to raise their kids. They're not reinforcing ideas, manners. I mean, like, everyone remembers the basic, but like that's only one fucking like small percentage of like the ideas and things you need to try and shape and force, and not force, but like teach his child.
And these people that we look at have achieved it all. Millionaires in the movies, bro, right? The fucking nanny raises the kids. You know what I mean? Like they don't even see the kid and shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, of course they're there, but but the child's the one raising and taking care of it. The nanny's the
How
one
much
all the
can
time.
you teach a child when that child sees no obstacle or struggle in their life? And I mean, we see what happens when these types of children that are raised in that environment, bro. We see what happens, bro.
Yeah.
They tend to self-destruct.
Drug addicts.
They tend to self-destruct.
Yes, bro.
Because when they're put in front of something that you cannot, it was never a problem for you before, you didn't struggle. You see the temper tantrums, you see the stubbornness, you see how molded and how much brains really take in. I mean, I think people always say, they're like, yeah, we know how smart babies are, but like I think even then we underestimate how smart babies and the
And even
human
before
brain
that, bro,
is.
in the fucking womb.
Yeah.
In the womb. I mean, I've explained to you purposeful shit they do to keep stem cells away from you and things, like we both know. Like, once again, here we are admitting that we know what they do. We know they manipulate the market. We know the cops are corrupt. We know the Congress is corrupt. We know the president's bullshit. We know the leaders are falsified. We know the fucking stock market's pixie dust. We know that these companies lie. We know their oil spills. Like, we know this is shit. But yeah, let's just bitch about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
These people are cowards to me, bro. These people are cowards, bro. And unfortunately, it's been 90% of what I've run into because I wasn't this person when I was 17, 18.
Yeah,
You knew who
yeah,
I was.
yeah.
Like, and now that like I am this person and like I really feel like my divine right, I feel like this way. I'm like, bro, there's no one. Like, there's no one, bro. There's no one, bro. No one's even fucking thinking it, dog. It's just how to benefit in this system in place.
Yeah.
It's like, why can you see Jeff Bezos, right? He's going to try and buy a country,
Yeah.
but why is he there? Why is he at that point? That guy's got the most money, and look, he's still trying to establish a country. But it was like we can't get that mindset. I can't instill that for some reason. It's like you just keep thinking that you need that money, but in all actuality, if 100 people pulled together what we make on minimum wage, we'd have enough to buy the land we need. It's crazy. It like really takes no money. Like 300,000, you could get 150 acres.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With a water supply, that's really not that hard, bro.
No,
but it's hard because I'm such in the fucking minority that to like even acquire that, I have to figure out a way to just come up with insane funds because I don't have no one to give it to me or no way to obtain it other than hard work.
Yeah.
And it sucks that it took this long, but I'm glad I'm here. It took, till I was 27 to really feel like this and really feel this type of like straightforwardness. But I'm glad I'm here. Like, I know finally that I don't want to be nothing else, And it feels so good to be like, all your life, you're like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do. It's like, finally, I know what I want to do. It's nothing they offered me.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, and that's like one of the, I think it's, it's a crazy thing because like, I think there are people like you, but that's who goes on and creates like, I mean, like not in like the way that like someone does like an Amazon type thing. Of course, that's like crazy, ridiculous, evil. But like people go on and they pursue that like financial freedom, and it's something that works within the system.
And that's why I explained. But remember, I was like, I don't want to use this for evil. That's what I was telling you before. Where I was like, bro, you see with the music. Like, I feel like I'm gifted in music, but I feel like that's an evil industry, and I feel like I can go be successful in music. Like, I know it sounds weird to say that, but like, I really do. But I believe that that's like an evil-filled industry, and I would only be buying into that. I'll be using that to get there. But there's also this part where I have to use it enough to acquire the funds to break out. But not let the greed consume me of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, I just get my land. I'll be good. I just want to pay for my land in cash. And from there, I'll pay my property taxes off of what I make off the land.
Exactly, man. I mean, it's like, it's like I've filtered like, ever since we started talking, I filtered out so many different things, I mean, I think we've both come, similar conclusions. Like, once we get money, it's like really one of the biggest obstacles because that's why they created money. You know, it's one of the biggest obstacles in your fucking face. You know what I'm saying?
They're the one that said that acre cost that dollar,
exactly,
Steve. That's what
man.
I'm
Exactly,
saying. Because
exactly.
if not, me and you would just go start our own civilization.
Exactly, bro.
Which wouldn't be a continent. It would just be the next village.
Which is what we were talking about earlier. Was like, when people were like, when people were in England, and we eventually came over here, we're just like, look,
yes.
We want to leave that, and then eventually we left that, and you just do this, and people left that. People left America and went to go out that way,
Same exact thing, though. But think about the natives. That's why I said the natives had it right, bro. Where it's like they all agreed, like, hey, when the white man attacked, we all fought the white man. But while we're here, like, we're still our own people. And obviously, they killed each other probably more than you should, But that's what you're going through at that time.
I mean,
but you get what I mean? Where they,
look.
Do you get what I'm saying? Where they said, look, this is how we like to do things.
Yeah.
This is how we like to do things. This is how we like to do things. And it's like, okay, everyone's still here together, but you're all doing your own thing.
Exactly.
Well, if you have 100 acres, you can do that.
I mean,
but when you say $8,000 an acre, and I need 100 acres, you make it unattainable in the system.
And that's the thing, bro. Like, they followed the buffalo. Like, there's literally a famous quote from one of these chiefs, bro. There's literally like, it's like, we sit here, we farm, we make all our goods. Everyone has, free time. We do for each other. We take care of each other. We follow the buffalo. We all eat. No one starves here. It's just like, only white man could come in and think that like this could get better. It's like, if you're, no one knows what the Native Americans could have accomplished in their system because they were destroyed by something that just was able to create something so powerful and just steam forward, and then like they just decimated.
There's these different portions, right? There's these different portions of human history, bro, and that's what the natives were doing, and they made a mistake that ended their civilization by what you were saying earlier, where evil can always undercut it. So you need to embrace your arms. They should have been progressing with their arms accordingly to other places, but they weren't doing that, So that's where I'm saying that does come into place.
I mean, but
they had so many things right.
I mean, like they knew, like, the only thing that they knew at the time was like that there were other tribes out there, and they made it. Sometimes they may fight each other, but other than that, they did not know about another person, another man. It's just like when you play Civilization, you have that fog of war, until you go see that.
Right.
You don't know it's over. The next thing you know, you got submarines on your coast. Whereas, like, with them, it's like, well, they even know that people were creating guns. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what guns were. And here they go. Now there's a gun in front of my face, but they just show, just like humans do. They learned, and they were able to acquire those arms and use them. They were able to get horses and breed them.
So now think about what we know. Given the internet, we know the info now, bro. We know this world. We know that what's going on. Not to the T. You get what I'm saying, though. We see the flaws in the system, bro. Now we can be them and perfect it, correct it, do it better. We don't gotta keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You shouldn't have to live by what. That's why I'm saying we're like, even when I create this, I still won't be like that. If you want to come here and you don't want to participate in the group activities, that's fine. You can still live here. I still want you to have a place you can live if you want to maintain that land and provide to here, right? You're still going to work a community farm, but you don't got to come here and help us necessarily build whatever it is that we want to produce, You get what I'm saying? I still want you to have a place, but you're not part of this idea. That's fine too, because what's it better? It's better to have that person next to me than evil be able to undercut them.
Yeah,
and you're hoping that person sees your ways of life, and hey, you choose your path from there.
And just want to work together and build it up and create something. That's never been seen before.
We can do it, bro. Why can't we? Why can't we, bro?
Bro, we can.
Why can't we be the Ripple?
No, we can, bro.
Like, you want to know? You honestly want to know who I want to meet, bro? That sounds crazy. I want to meet Soldier Boy, bro. Like, I feel like Soldier Boy might be the closest mind that I've ever seen, bro. Like, just the way that he goes about things, and like he does it in that evil mindset, trying to make financial way, but it's the same way of like he sees something and he tries to capitalize it on his way. That's exactly how I see it. I see what you did, and I'm going to use it and make it better. I'm not going to eliminate it and tell you, hey, let's, spark flint at the fire things. You're still going to make it modern. That's why I always say, like, you keep Xbox Live. you know, but you have your own internet guys who do that because you provide a service to them,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
I watched the whole video about Cuba's underground gaming network, bro, where these regular citizens just go and built this network, bro. And then you didn't hear about that? You never seen that, bro?
Interesting.
I thought you, bro.
Because this is a
Look,
problem that I've
so
ran into.
so in Cuba, it's like they have slow internet and shit, and plus there's a lot of shit that's banned over there. But there's a huge like gaming and internet community there. Though you call them, they come and hook you up into the network, bro. They created a huge network, and I don't think they charge anybody for the shit, bro. Just something that's maintained by the people for the people, bro. And they just build it, and they're just like, look, we all need more internet. We all need it. The government doesn't give you internet. There's no Comcast here. We made the internet here.
I wonder if that's like the cartel or something, because it's like a classic thing, though. First of all, well, it's the classic of like, if there's no cost, you are the product. You have to give something. If not, they're benefiting in somehow. They have not benefiting, but they at least have to be able to use you for something to continue that, or else they wouldn't provide that service, without having an infrastructure. Think about like, what the fuck's his name? The goddamn Escobar. Think about Escobar. Like, he did things for the community all the time. So when the police came for him, no one went to give him in,
Yeah.
Like, it's that classic thing to me. Like, I picture like that's kind of probably what it is. Like, maybe they're doing something else.
I mean, like, from what I read into it, it's like, when it all started out, just a couple people kept, spreading. And as more people started to support it, because, if you want to be a part of the system, it's like, okay, well, we need some more volunteers to do it. So people step up, bro. People step up. Not everyone steps up and maintains things.
Right, but people will. Just like a volunteer fire force, right?
And not only because I want to keep the internet, but I want to help other people get internet, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's why they're doing that type of thing,
And then in return, that's your job. Like, we don't want you to have to carry firewood, right? Somebody else is carrying firewood because you're good with internet.
So
that's why you need skills.
Like on the Wall Street Bets thing, like the subreddit moderator. So anyone can go and create a subreddit, but also falls on the community and the people to, moderate themselves while also following what the terms of service for Reddit are and the rules of Reddit. But these moderators that go and make these subs like Wall Street Bets, they don't get paid, bro. They're not allowed to get paid because then it can skew the moderation process. They all do that for free, bro. They just go and they're like, look, we want to keep this community open for people. Whatever the community case may be. I mean, Wall Street Bets may not be the best one, but I mean, there's an agriculture subreddit on there. That's it. I mean, of course, it's all run by Reddit, but the people moderate it. It's like
that's a good idea. That's a great idea. I like it.
And the people moderate it, and and that's what it like falls on. And they don't get paid to do any of it. People step up because they want to see these communities thrive.
That's why Reddit was able to create
platforms.
That.
And then so. Yeah, that's why I was like, it was Reddit. It was just a forum posting board, and then you created,
it kind of feels like I feel like the first person create that is kind of like where I'm at though, where it's like I wonder if anybody else thinks like this, and then he just creates Wall Street Bets, and it's like, wow, a lot of people were thinking like this. You just don't know until you out there,
community, bro.
And that's why I always tell you, like, bro, you got to be vocal because you got good ideas, and when you say that to people are like, whoa, when they got to hear it though. You can have somebody walk by. You have all the potential in the world. People walk by you, and you don't say nothing. You miss that opportunity.
That's the thing. I said it before, bro. Where it's like, I know where I gotta work. I've done like I speak up way more than I ever have, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
I mean, all of us have a problem speaking up, mainly, though. If
like,
not, you're a dummy.
Well, I mean, like, it's like, even when it comes to like, aggression, because like, I've been put in situations that I've dealt with people, and just like, I mean, like you said, you don't like to call them social experiments, but like when you're looking, it's like, I see how some people react to some things, and then you next time you try and tackle it differently.
You tweak it differently.
Well, then, it's like there's times where some people only respond to aggression.
Yes.
So not really aggression, but like, stern, really, like standing up and
violence,
getting it across, bro. And getting it across, bro.
Listen, yes, some people are completely like that, right? But you see it all the time in babies that aren't evil like that. You just see it in any baby, where it's like, it's a challenging thing. It's just like any cub's going to challenge the authority.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're going to challenge the pack leader, right?
Yeah.
And the pack leader has to check you.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, no, you don't do that. But you're going to test that boundary. Yeah. That's just natural, in my opinion,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, it's like that's what separates people who, just allow shit to happen and actually speaking up. Because I mean, up until like you see people all the time where it's like. I feel like people do me there. And it says, well, I mean, like for one, I mean, maybe that starts with something with not respecting yourself, but also not really standing up for you. Which I mean is the ultimate disrespect to yourself.
I feel
Not
like
standing up
you
for
have
you and
bad
yourself,
self-confidence because you have bad actions. I keep trying to preach that, bro. But like when people say like this is a cockiness, it's really not a cockiness. It's just it really is a confidence because I know the good I do. Like I truly want good for everyone. Like I'll do anything that anybody asks me to do if I can help them. Like whatever it is, if I'm available, like I'm down to help anyone do anything. I just want good. Like, and when you know that, bro, you have this self-confidence about yourself. Like, man, I can achieve anything. Because I really do believe, like, not only through myself, but my ability to offer something to someone, I can achieve something. And because they will offer something to me,
Right.
So, like, I don't know how to build a rocket, but I bet I could offer, even if it's friendship, might be excitement, might be laughter, might be anything to a rocket scientist. He might be a fucking nerd. You know what I mean? The word's the word. You meet up with him and he's like, you're cool as fucking shit, man. And he's just teaching you rocket shit because you're cool.
see,
I mean, it's just, so I like to picture my rocket scientist like that.
No, and like and one thing we were talking about earlier is like what's like you may have the rocket science, but like this is I think where people I think we also fuck up in this aspect where it's like okay where we allow people to get away with evil because some of the skills that they do bring because people aren't perfect in any aspect, but when you're looking for the type of society you're looking for and what we're envisioning and what we want to see like where it goes like. Just because like that's the thing like as like okay I want to go build a rocket it's like okay well there's only this one dude over here that does the metal refinery here and he's a fucking dickhead but we keep him on because he has metal refinery skills. It's like well that's where we fuck up along the way too what I'm saying it's like it's like when we were talking about earlier where like we had that whole chat with about the NFL player and shit where it's like you just because of skill someone's bringing in the good they're doing in an aspect of life and
It's
what
never above the tribe. No one is above the tribe.
Exactly.
Not even you.
And we don't allow evil no matter the position they're in.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
No matter the position they're in. It's
and
like,
once again, they wrote that in America. They say no one is above the law.
Like I said,
but they don't show it.
Like we saw where it's like, it's like, as long as he's winning the chips, it's whatever, but like, well, that's really gonna really fuck up everything, bro. Because we're gonna allow this to bypass because he's good at something.
Exactly.
And we need it. Well,
exactly.
Well, fuck you. I'll figure it the fuck out.
Exactly.
Myself,
I'd rather not have it.
Exactly. I'll figure it out. Bro.
You're a dick.
I got a lot on my hands, but I'll figure that out before I fucking come to you with that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just like just because they offer, they may even bring a lot to the tribe though, but if they're evil. It's whatever, bro. The fuck your skills. You know what I'm saying? You just can't have bad apples in here. I have good people that we can learn. You can teach them. We can teach them.
Yeah.
They can learn
exactly. But when you got
skills.
evil is evil.
You may already know blacksmithing. I'm sorry, man, but you're fucking. I know. I'm not gonna come to you for you to forge my sword. I'll forge my own swords. You know what I'm saying? Just I'll rely on this. We'll figure it the fuck out before we allow bad people into here, bro.
Yeah, I mean, but you kind of like I feel like kind of how Saul feels when he approaches someone is kind of what I'm becoming, where it's like with that good feeling of knowing how much good I want for you, I don't really feel like anyone can be an enemy because I'm going to find something to relate to you and I'm going to find something I can help you with. I think that for anyone, you could give me a hedge fund CEO guy. And I feel like if I talk to him, bro, like I have something to offer. Like I believe in myself. I believe in my work,
Like, and you always have to try. But just like you always say, and what we always learn, you gotta know when to get in and when to get out, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because there's times where there are people that are 100% lost causes.
But it's not like that's my thing. I don't want to keep harping about myself, bro. But since a kid, I've always known that about myself, bro. Like most of my fights came from me sticking up from people. I don't care when someone bullies me. But if someone bullies you, I will fight them. You get what I'm saying? I don't like that.
Yeah.
So for me, when I see that, I will stop that. And that's what the classic I keep going back to. Martin Luther King, the worst evil isn't when good does nothing. So like I know that everybody's not like me. I know that's why I know I'm a good person, because I know everybody's not like me. So I know you don't speak up. If that machinist who does the machinist is being rude to you and taking advantage of you, I will speak up for you. That's what I'm saying. There's these type of people in the world, bro. We're like, I don't know machinists neither. And I can't promise you that we're gonna get your job done. But he's not gonna sit here and take advantage of you.
Exactly,
he's not
man.
gonna talk to you like that.
Yeah,
And he's not for all that, the motherfucker can get the fuck out and we won't do this shit today.
Yeah.
You know? And see where a motherfucker like that gets when money ain't included, bro. They end up in a fucking corner under a tree with socialization. Nobody wants to be their friends, bro, and they're not a part of the future.
The exile of the fucking
The
village,
only
bro.
way
They're
you're able to do that
bro.
is when you buy your way in, when you buy your company. That's it. Oh, I can get paid $50 to get into the cover, and I'm gonna buy a VIP spot. That's the only time people want to be around you, is when you're buying things. Because that's all you're worth. You have no real skill, you know?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But I mean, even when you have skills to bring, you know what I'm saying? So even when
you're a dick.
Even when I can do, what I mean, I have exactly what you fucking need, bro. And this is the thing, bro, because I mean, like, they always say everyone has a price. It's like, well, I'm more valuable when you really need this thing. And people have a tendency to give in and allow those things to happen because now I really need this fucking metal refinery. And now I'll let it slide because how much I need for this metal refinery. But it may take me longer, it may take you longer, it may take us longer, but we will if we deem this an evil source, no, we're not. We will figure out ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because it's hard. But listen, but that's what I'm saying. Exactly what you said is beautiful. 100%. All agree, right? Yeah. So when you're right there, you can't do that by yourself. So you're allowing that. But when you got that far right box checks, bro, and you're right here, and I'm with you, and I'm sitting here saying, bro, that machine factory ain't gonna go in there if you don't want them to, and you're saying I don't want them to. End of discussion. You know what I mean? You can't go there. That's his land. That is what it is. I'm gonna fight for you to that level of extent, you know. And that's why I feel like these kind of friends, are so important, because it's like, okay, that person can go. All right. Hey, okay, because you can have people like where it's your family's at stake, like your family eating, like this guy, brings you your land. You don't know how to hunt, but all you ever bring him is scrap metal. And when you bring it to him, one day he don't give you the meat and you don't know what to do. Well, when you got that right box checked, bro, even though you're a poor man, you can come to that far right box in that Morocco code at any time and come to that right box and go, that man didn't give me my meat for my metal. And I'm coming with you to try and make sure I say we're try because we're die for it. We've established that we're go this far. If someone takes advantage of you, I am there to the death to try and right that wrong, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's what I wouldn't be able to offer to anyone. And that's what I feel like with this guy that I work with, bro. It gives me that same vibe where it's like, when you're in with them, you're in with them, And that's how it is with me. And I'm like, wow, it's funny how the world attracted two people like this. Like we both kind of see it like that, It's like your die for the people that you've selected are that ultimate box, Best way I can put it.
Yeah.
I think we said everything we could say tonight, bro.
Damn, bro.
I love you, dog, bro. I appreciate the feedback, man.
No, it's all right. No, it's all good, bro. No, like I said, bro, this is the thing that like when I tell people when they always ask me for the show, bro. I'm just like, they always ask me how do we like just go and like how do what's the plan or the agenda with them? I'm just like we just talk, man. We just talk. I mean, I think the best. This is what you're seeing is for the most part, most of the time, bro. It's just like a real time brainstorming. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I got ideas. That's all I can say is I got ideas, bro. I'm throwing ideas around right or wrong. We're bouncing them off. You're taking some of them. You're morphing them around. You're telling me how to explain my ideas better. To me, it's just all progress, man. Just getting it out. I'm refining the idea more. I'm learning how to convey it better. We're going over things. We're reaching, an audience. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to articulate better. I'm trying to, just
it's what we could do now.
You know what I'm saying? And the only way that you will work on articulation and explaining, listening is through real human interaction.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I can think about it a million times, but until I actually work on public speaking or anything like that, I can't say I'm good at public speaking. Well, I've never worked and actually did public speaking.
Honesty, bro. Honesty. You might be around, plenty of other friends where you wouldn't have told them that, that criticism you told me today, that feedback. You wouldn't have told them that. You would have just let them go off on that and sound stupid, where to me, you feel that camaraderie, as they would say, where it's like, you feel like, hey, bro, you remember how Gary was? Like, you're like that. It's like, okay, because we both have this common, like, I can relate back to what you're saying and picture how you're seeing it and try to get better from there. It's the honesty,
just like you were saying, bro. It's like especially when you grow up together, you have that bar field already. Well, it's like you go to someone that doesn't have that bar field,
and you just can't say things like that. Where I'm just I never want my kids to hear you say that.
It's not even like that. It's just like you just working on how to say it.
Right.
Things, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's just working and a work in progress, and it's the type of thing that like you only will learn by talking to people and conveying these ideas. Just like when you told me about that one thing at Popeyes, where it's like, okay, look. I realized I probably shouldn't talk to this grown man like that,
Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly how it goes.
You should talk to that grown man like that.
And exactly. And then you'd be talking to somebody, you're like, oh, this guy's a jokester. Like he likes jokes, so you're more likely to joke with him.
Yeah.
Where you see somebody that's serious, and you're like, you're more likely to be serious.
Well, that's the thing, it's funny because like I've never like explained it or like articulate is that like when you talk about social experiments, it's like it's funny because like I'd never labeled it that or never really even put thought into like what I was doing, but like I'm thinking about the interaction. It's like when you meet up with someone, just like you're just talking, you're just trying to feel them out, see what they're about, and you're just like now that was a fraud. And it's like it's like oh shit! It's like there's a huge build up to where it's like, well. I take a step, you take it. Can we meet up? And then eventually we dap up. It's just like you both testing that boundary of like, well, what's this person gonna respond to? It's like, okay, well,
and that's what I'm refining,
he thinks
bro.
similarly, he thinks similarly.
Find the similarity. That's where I'm I'm like, bro, why we gotta discuss politics? You agree politics are corrupt? I agree politics are corrupt. We don't gotta discuss politics tonight. We both agree on that. You know what I mean? You think this, bro? You think this system's fucked up? Yeah, I agree too, bro.
What's to discuss about the system? We both agree it's fucked up. Other than how to change it, it's like we were talking about that.
Bam! I just stepped it up in 3 steps right there, right? Exactly, hey, the system's fucked up. Politics are corrupt. Okay, how are we gonna fix it?
Well, we're not talking that no more.
Okay, that's done. That's what I was saying. Exactly, we're done that. What's the point? What's the point? The only time we ever have to refer back to this is when we're building something in the new civilization, and we go, "What did they do? Oh, well, they built a corn mill like that. That probably wasn't a good idea,
And that's what we're wrapping up. We're wrapping up here. We're wrapping here, bro. All right, I gotta go too anyway. Let's get it. But just because, like, there's certain things that led us here, and I've gotten to this point, doesn't mean that, like, it doesn't mean that it was always necessarily rooted in evil, but could have actually started off as like an actually intelligent idea, but then it's twisted. Then work in the favor of the others.
You gotta shut it down when it comes.
You can look at the things going on here. You can apply them in certain areas. Yep. You look at that. And you're like, well, I can learn from that. I don't want to apply it here. There's give and take. You know what I'm saying?
You're 100%. And the most important thing I feel like for myself through that whole process is just remain. You're never gonna be egoless, but just not stroking my own ego. Of being like, this is for a common purpose. Of even if it was successful, of like, this is the future for the progression of planet Earth, not Mike Knoll. I'm a human, not Mike Knoll. That's how I'm trying to look at it. Thank you everybody for checking us out. I know that was probably a wild ride right there. Love you everybody. Stay safe all weekend. And stay positive. Test negative.
Like, share, subscribe. We appreciate y'all. Have a good night. Bro, how hard those